Shirt show. All right, let's go.
Shirt show! Talking shirt! Shirt show! Just talking shirt! Shirt show! Talking shirt! Shirt show! Talking shirt, man! All right! Episode 242 of Shirt Show! We've got a Superpod from ISS Long Beach in California! Let's go!
Do we look pretty?
Do we look pretty is the first thing that we talk about.
How good we look today.
You look fantastic.
Andy
You look
this,
fantastic.
Andy's got this
the coffee
vintage
collar?
wash shirt with a collar. He's bringing that look back.
I got this sick Lane 7, I think it is, right?
Yeah.
Acid wash
It's
paired with this pop collar.
Yeah.
Nobody's doing that yet,
yeah.
but it's coming.
Cashmere
We're
underneath.
in Long
Reminds me
Beach.
of early 2000s.
That's right. And yeah, Dylan's. What do you got here?
Target.
Target line? Yeah, baby. That's what I'm talking
Fuck yeah,
about.
Target all the
Target's
way.
hey,
Can we throw me some of that? So this is our merch.
Target
That
makes
actual.
good stuff.
This has never been on
No,
like
we
TV.
that's the
I call it
shirt
TV.
that we printed for the happy hour last night, which was fucking awesome.
Turned out badass.
Yeah.
Lots of people. Band was great. We got the band that Andy wanted and
Oh
dreamed
my
and
gosh,
hoped for.
yeah. So like we found out yesterday morning, actually, that the band that we requested was available and was actually, I think they were loading in,
Yeah.
Nice.
you know. And
Win.
the reason why, and I said this last night when I introduced them, that I went through a breakup recently, and Instagram algorithm found me and introduced me to this band.
They found your soul
And I listened to it like
Right in the heart.
4,247
deep.
million times. Yeah, and it just got me in my feels. And so the universe, it worked itself out again.
Yeah, it really did.
I'm
Oh,
recording
hey, this
all
is
this.
Tim, by the way.
Hello.
This is our good friend Tim.
Nice to meet y'all.
He came in to help us with sponsors.
Yeah.
Timbo Slices.
Timbo Slices. At Timbo Slices on Instagram.
Craft singles.
I remember when you guys would go, like, in the beginning, you'd always go, check.
Lindsay likes it because it's in her ear. We are going to do a shirt show now, and then we are also here for the 40-year anniversary of M&R, so they have a lot of cool things going on, and they invited us to talk to M&R fanboys and girls all day.
And we got the Star Spangled Banner.
Yeah, Glenn Carlos did the trumpet Star Spangled Banner to start the show.
Beautiful.
Sweet.
You ready to talk about our buzz?
Yeah, let's do it.
Do you have a Frank button on your phone? You have the picture, don't you?
Oh yeah, hang on.
Yeah. Frank.
That is right. It all starts with the screen, and whether it's new stretches or retretches, Frank and his team do it the best. To find out
Frank's
more,
right there.
go to graphicscreenfashion.com, FFFFF,
Rank.com.
or
GreatFuckingScreens.com.
That's right, greatfuckingscreens.com.
there it is. Cleaning screens is no fun, but Easy Way makes it way more funner. Their line of eco-friendly chemicals will make reclaiming screens a whole lot easier. Check them out at easyway.com. Easy Way.
It's the easiest way, baby.
The easiest way.
Look, GraphX is the source for production-ready digital art and remote art staffing. We use them every single day. They can help any size shop. Learn more at graphicsource.com or 1-900.
Hotstuff.com.
Yeah.
SNS has a massive footprint at the show. One of the best. I don't have any notes. We're just going to wing it here. If you're not ordering from SNS, you're fucking up. That's all I'm going to say.
It's true.
It's just, at this point, what the hell are you doing? Stop printing if you're not ordering from SNS.
We also saw Alpha Broder, which is SNS, but
Yeah.
it's still Alpha Broder.
Still kicking it.
They're not playing around. They got both
Yeah.
of them here.
Huge footprint.
Huge footprint.
Hey, look, you're on the screen.
2 feet, I guess.
Beautiful blanks. Like
They
the
have
best
2
blanks
feet
ever.
on the ground.
They do.
And our next partner, Gildan. Last night, we got a lot of help from American Apparel putting on our happy hour. I'm so glad they decided to partner with us for the last couple of years. They made the show super special, super awesome. We had hot dogs. We had a crane game. We had the band of your dreams. The venue was amazing. So a big thank you to American, like for real, big thank you to
Big,
American
huge
Apparel.
thank you. And I know Matthew Michael Marcotte wanted me to say this, that he had a hot dog with ketchup on it.
Yeah.
That's all he had from Chicago.
We wanted
but
everyone
he
to
didn't
know
care.
that he
Yeah.
fucked up.
Yeah.
So. And then
Yeah.
our buddies at Stalls.
Oh, yeah.
I had a great conversation at the happy hour last night with the Stalls guys and gals.
Are you talking about their happy hour?
Well,
That was
their
2
happy
nights ago.
hour was the
Yeah.
first night we got here, which was amazing. Great food. I ate all the meatballs, so Andy couldn't have any.
I didn't get any meatballs.
No meatballs. No.
That's a
He had the
bummer.
burgers.
Sorry.
But we're seriously so happy to be partnered with them because last night we had a conversation that was very deep and meaningful about the education and what they're doing, what we're doing, and I'm excited to do more things with them. So,
Stalls is doing some cool stuff.
yeah, for real.
Some of the stuff with their.
Well, you got shoes, didn't you?
Shoes. I got some like custom Converses that they made, and then they heat transferred PVC patches and like other vinyl patches on them. So they're so cool. I'm probably just
Yeah.
gonna put them on my shelf because I don't want to wear them. You know?
And they were doing that here at the booth, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't walked the show yet, and it's day 2, so I'm gonna make my way over there today. But
Yeah.
Stalls is awesome. Appreciate them. Thank you.
Before you go, anything else? Like, what are you looking for here? Or what have you seen since you? Because we haven't really walked it much. You see
Yeah.
anything that stuck out?
Oh man, so much. I mean, for me, just like the education part of all of this, and like learning about everything that's out there that's like kind of coming up. You know, so used to seeing a couple of Blue Crew presses every day, but it's nice to see like what Rock is doing and what Stalls is doing, and just kind of seeing all the equipment that's available for us. Because I think people don't realize how much equipment is out there for screen printers, and it's like, yeah, there's the top 3 or whatever, but also there's like, so much more to offer.
Yeah, and
Nice
there's
to
rows
hear.
and rows of just different technology and different add-ons,
Chemicals.
chemicals,
Inks.
and washouts, and everything else.
Inks,
Yeah.
like
Like
Rock
Easy Way
is
and
sick.
Blue Water have a massive footprint here too, with all new machines.
Yeah, and just the education part, just just kind of also like the networking. It's really nice to be able to like put people to
That's the
faces,
best. That's the best
you know?
part.
It's like after
Yeah.
seeing everyone on social media, it's like, oh my god, I got to meet these people in person, and it's
Mm-hmm.
cool to like make those connections, and it's what these things are the best for. You know?
Well, it was funny last night. I was talking to you, and I was like, "Oh, hey, did you meet this person?" And they're like, "Yeah, we got to hang out earlier,"
yeah.
and it was great.
It was great. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
just cool. It's really good to meet you guys. Like, love y'all
Hey.
so much,
Thank you, sir.
so much, buddy. So glad you're here, bro.
Thanks, dude, for jumping in and doing this with us.
Love you guys.
We'll catch up with you in a little bit.
Yes.
D, my guy. Who do we have today?
Well, they're here. Let them introduce themselves.
Oh, they're here. I forgot. Yeah.
Anthony from Stitches Clothing.
Amber, also from Stitches Clothing.
It'd be weird if she was from somewhere else.
Yeah, are you from somewhere else?
I moonlight.
Found her outside.
She jumps around a little bit. How you guys doing?
Hey, first day of Long Beach. We are in the M&R booth, hanging out. Me and Andy decided to be here today and tomorrow to shoot the shit with other print shops, do some shirt show stuff, and just hang out and do our thing.
Yeah. And Maggie said, "Hey, I know this shop, and they would be perfect guests to come on and talk about all kinds of different stuff."
Well, she was just out at your guys' place, wasn't she, for a Blue Crew thing?
Last year, and then she was out for the colorways thing.
Yeah, I think that was last January, right?
Time flies.
Yeah. She was just out there 6-7 months ago.
What did you guys buy?
Let's see. Last year, did we buy anything? That was 2 years ago. 2 years ago, we got the Eco Rinse and Eco Text. I
But you
would
got them at
say
the same time, both
same
those.
time.
Yeah,
Both pieces at the
so
same time.
I just told the story. It might have been last episode of when we got our Eco Rinse, getting it off the truck because it comes fully assembled in one giant crate.
Super long.
Yeah, super
right.
long. Forklift extenders, doesn't matter. And I had to drag it off with the chain across our shop, and then for 7.5 hours, and then uncrate it to get it onto the floor.
Wow.
Almost died. What was your experience like?
I think we had the forklift and 2 pallet jacks.
So I think to get it off the trailer, we had 2 forklifts, one in the front, one in the back.
There you go.
And then maneuver that little guy back
Yeah,
and
yeah,
forth,
yeah.
right? It was
That's
it was
usually-
a
that's
pain
what we
in the
did,
ass.
yeah.
And not only that, we've got an 18 color Challenger 3, where it was going right behind, and we literally had 2 feet, 3 feet, 3 feet in between the Challenger and the wall to try to sneak it right back behind.
Are you
there.
guys raised up off the ground in the shop, or are you like ground level?
Everything's raised up.
So that was
6
our
feet.
problem.
What do you mean
so we have
raised
to get
up?
things.
Well, loading docks, right?
Yeah.
We have no ramp, just straight loading.
Same with me.
Yep.
Yeah. So when we got our G3, I think the center section weighs, I don't remember how, it's super heavy.
3,500
Yeah,
pounds
it's
or
crazy
something,
heavy.
right?
So we had across the street like a construction place or whatever, and they let us borrow their forklift. Well, we got it over, and as soon as they picked it up, the forklift was like tipping.
So you just get people on the back.
Yeah, so we get a bunch of people on the standing on the back, call OSHA, let them know what's going on.
Please take a picture of this for social
We
media.
had Ace Hardware next door, called them. They had a bigger forklift, so they came over, and we had it out of the truck with one forklift, and then we had another forklift holding that forklift down
Oh my God.
so that we could turn and get it
Right.
into the building. But this was all during a snowstorm, and it
So
was
you needed
fun.
a 4-wheel drive forklift.
We needed a big-ass forklift, and we didn't have one.
But those make for good stories.
It does.
Yeah.
And we lived through it, made
And
us
we all
stronger.
sweating bullets, like,
Yeah.
please don't drop this.
machine that I
And
spent
it's like some
everything I
dude
have
who
for.
just works at Ace Hardware who like picks lumber that's driving the forklift, not
Yeah.
like someone who cares about what I own. Or
What's
that
so
I spent
weird
this amount of money.
about like an eco rinse, for example, is like I came up rinsing out screens. The first screen I ever rinsed out was on my deck, back porch, and with a garden hose and a nozzle and all that, and then
on the third floor, dripping down to everybody else.
and it's cold out and the water freezes. It really happens. And you think to yourself, like, why would I ever buy a machine that rinses out a screen? I could do that in a minute and it's going to be good. And then you grow and you scale and you have this shop, and then all of a sudden somebody's spending 6-7 hours a day rinsing out screens, and then every once in a while the screen doesn't totally blow out in the right spot, and then it's on press and you're like, make a new screen. And so then you get this eco rinse, this developer in a sense, and it shows up, and then within hours you're like, oh, why didn't I buy this 5 years ago? You tried to cheat the system and still wash out the screens in the washout booth and all that kind of stuff, but then you get this machine and it's automated and it has a recipe, and you don't end up with screens on press, or very rarely anyway do you end up with a screen on press that didn't wash out all the way, and also the guy or girl puts it in the eco rinse and walks away, comes back and they're doing something else, and so it's amazing.
Your screen washer doesn't show up for 2 days in the owner's cleaning screens with a pressure.
We've all been there, right?
Yeah.
I think for us, when I decided to buy it, is we were running 2 shifts, and we looked at it 2 years ago, and I was thinking, there's no way I'm going to pay X amount for this. Is it really worth it? And then I started timing everything out, and we were spending 3.5 hours just on washing screens out, the images out of the screen, and I go, there's no way, we've got to speed this up. And once we got that, like you said, we're like, this was a no-brainer. Why didn't we buy this?
What was your
years
process
ago?
before? Were you pre-dipping them and then rinsing
Pre-dipping
them?
everything and rinsing them, and we still do that a little bit now with halftone stuff because they're running 2 machines at once, so we've got to produce more screens. So we're still doing it a little
2
bit.
imagers?
Yeah, we've
I
got
see.
an imager and a laser. So we
Okay.
had 2 eye images at one point, and then we just switched over 6 months ago. 6 months ago to a laser, and then we still run laser and eye image.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's probably convenient when you get a reorder and you want to match. I've heard that sometimes it's tough to match a laser to an eye image, halftone stuff, let's say.
So with that, what we've found is we're starting to, instead of like a 65 LPI on an eye image, we run like a 62 LPI on the laser, just because the laser, I mean, you guys have.
Yeah, I have one.
I mean, the dots out of a laser are out of this world, right? I mean, they're really they're really good. So I think we have to kind of dumb back the eye image just a little bit.
Yeah.
But the quality is amazing out of a laser. So yeah, we do have to switch a few things to make it.
But
look the
it's
same.
also nice. I mean, we are in the M&R booth, but which is also nice too when you get certain customers where you're doing a lot of sim process stuff for, and then they send you the art and you make it with whatever machine, and then you do the laser and you're like, oh, dude, like it's even better than it was before now. So like that's an easy sell to be like, well, we actually improved your art. So at least you're not going backwards,
Yeah,
but
so you don't have to adjust as much. And we still run the eye image every single day. We love that thing. I mean, it's been great for us. We had 2 at one point, and there's a reason for that.
Yeah, we had someone on our. Well, you're not part of it anymore because you canceled all groups. But I think Jared AKT was asking for another eye image just to have like a chain of them, basically.
Yeah.
Do you ever burn just a couple of letters on the laser, like a left chest? I don't know. It says like Mike's Towing for one color, and it's just make it on the laser.
We did a sponsor back that we warned the customer this is not going to look great, and the detail was
And then it did.
insane.
Yeah.
Like probably a
You've
5 or
done that
6
too?
point
Yeah.
size. It's crazy.
We've done that with certain things where we know in the art department, like we already know in our brain, like the detail on this just isn't going to happen. Like we've known for years, like it's too small. Like it could be like a log, like the end cut of a log on someone's business card size logo.
Oh, you mean the grain of the wood?
Yeah, the grain of the wood. And you're like, this is just going to be a round blob that
Absolutely.
kind of looks like a log. And then you do it and you're like, dude, every grain of wood is like
Yeah.
in
So
there.
that's how
It's
our
insane.
screen department decides, right? They'll look at the mock-up and go, okay, the detail of this is automatically going here.
Yeah.
Versus a front and a back, we gang them up on the eye image. That and the less detail goes on that
Right.
machine, higher detail goes on the laser.
So they know, like the person that you have a dedicated person in the screen room,
Dedicated, yeah.
and they're not developing, they're not coding screens. What do they do? What's your screen tech do?
So Screen Tech is just running the 2 machines, walking in between there, and then running the eco rinse.
Yeah, and depending on the time of year, he'll also do the coding, but
They're not taping up screens. They're not.
we can have one person that coats and tapes.
So he's going burn, eco rinse, burn,
That's
burn,
all,
eco rinse.
all day long.
Exactly.
Okay.
So when we're really busy, what we'll do is we got a full-time guy in the ink room. We've got a full-time guy running screens through the eco rinse. And then we've got 2 people in the screen room taping and shooting screens and everything.
That was kind of the sell for you guys then, because of that workflow is
Less labor.
you were going image, and then he would have to stand there and blow screens out.
Yes.
And then go back to image. Now he's image, drop it in, go immediately back to burning more screens.
Exactly, yes.
So that cut that time down. You were doing how many more screens a day once you switch that up? What are you
How many
doing?
more screens a day?
Sharing.
We're sharing? All right.
I would say for us it was labor, right? So between just cleaning screens and shooting, we do about 250 to 300 screens a day depending on how busy it is.
Yeah.
I would say for us it was all about the labor, right? So when we started adding iImage, the eco rinse, eco text, we went from 2 shifts burning screens and coding screens and all that to 1 shift.
Right.
And some jobs it turned into 6 hours. Cleaning screens went from 300, 400 a day. They can do it in 4 hours.
Right.
I mean, out of everything that I own that M&R makes, that's probably the best investment I've ever made.
That's funny.
Auto reclaim is the best thing I think
Oh, reclaim.
I've
yeah,
personally
yeah,
ever
for
bought.
sure. Yeah. Let me ask you this question though, which hopefully it's not offending any of your employees, but like the thing about the automation with that too, and for me it's always been a hard sell because I don't have an eco rinse, and I'm like Andy where I'm like I'm not doing 300 screens a day. I'm doing maybe more like 75 to 100 screens a day or whatever. But are you noticing that if you have multiple shifts of that person in the darkroom doing that you are getting different detail, different results on blowing screens out from different humans?
Yes. 100%.
You're saying from different before they got to.
Well, I'm just that you might have one guy in the morning who's more attention to
Coding
detail
something different
than
or
the next
whatever.
guy who's just like dumped and he's talking to his buddy and he's blowing screens out and like, oh, this little level of detail might not have been blown out.
Absolutely.
But now you have-
I think it's halftones too, right?
Yeah, now you
Spot
have-
colors
right.
are different than halftones.
Different people pay attention
Absolutely.
differently. Now you don't have that human aspect. You're like, I have the recipe in this machine.
Well, and you have the employees that just care a little bit more, right?
Right.
They notice that there's spots on
Right.
the screens and they say something.
And I
Like
mean,
getting your
that's
employees
real
to
life is
say
what I'm trying to
those
say is
issues.
owners, we're trying to get rid of the real life. We're not trying to get rid of the employee. We're just trying to get rid of like that guy had a bad day or that girl had a
Absolutely.
bad day.
I mean, that's why we're all automating, right?
Right.
And it's not to get rid of them. It's just making our process consistent.
And also, I mean, even like with auto coding, if you the first screen's different than the 90th.
Absolutely.
If it's the same person, because you're maybe tired or whatever. And so I think that automating things gets your consistency, whether it's at the coder or the rinse or the eco-tech, everything is recipeed and you get that consistency.
Consistency and ease too, right? It's like we might have a screen guy that's down for a day. We can easily move a QC or anybody in our department
Anybody.
over to the screen, and I
Yeah.
can show them within our supervisors or whoever can show them within 5 minutes we run this for an X amount of time.
Right.
We do this, push this button, and this recipe's that, and it's done. 5 minutes,
Right.
we can train somebody to do 300 screens in one day. It's
Well,
a no-brainer.
It's
for
even
me.
like you guys were saying, like you could have a guy out sick or whatever, and then you're like, oh, I'll go clean screens today or whatever. Now you walk in, it's like green button, green button, green button.
And to be honest, I enjoy doing
do
that
too.
because I bug her in
Yes.
the office. I'm a screen guy, right? Screen printing guy.
Same.
And to get me out of the office, and she's like, we're so many screens are going by, and I go, I'm gonna get my fucking
Right. Yeah,
I'm gonna
no.
get my earbuds, and I'm gonna go out there, and no one comes and finds
Right.
me. I don't get a question, and I'm just pushing screens through all day long.
It wasn't even that long
I
ago.
love
It was
it.
a couple weeks ago. Bill was talking about how he was backed up and he needed this, and this guy was out sick or whatever. And I was like, I'd love to come out and coat screens and do this other thing. He's like, no, you like, because they are the the managers, and they're like, I don't want to see you doing it because then I'm not doing my job. And I'm like, no, I'm asking you, like, let me do this.
Please let me
Like,
do
I
it.
want to go in and like put music on and just like coat 100 screens,
That's the
200
best.
screens,
That's the
whatever.
best part of my job, and I'm not kidding you. I love doing that. It takes me away from all the serious day-to-day things.
I think we as shop owners, we wear a lot of different hats, and we start off, most of us anyway, pulling squeegees and doing everything, and we understand. You feel it in your hands, and you like that, and then you get to a certain spot, and then just the other day, like kind of what you're saying, it had been days or weeks probably since I touched a fucking t-shirt. I haven't even touched. I mean, besides what I wear, like I hadn't touched a t-shirt at my shop. I was at
In
a
the
Creed
winter.
Well, you
show.
look good now with the shirt on.
Thank you. But I hadn't actually touched a t-shirt, and so I get to the shop, and I go back. I put my coat down, and everything. I went to the back, and I went up to a press assistant. I was like, hey, can I jump in and just like offload a dozen shirts? I just want to. Like he's gonna screw this up. No, but I just wanted to offload a shirt from a press. I know that's not printing still, but it was touching a shirt. You're around this machine that you love, like you agonize, like which one am I going to get, and I'm going to choose this one because of that. And now you're not even using this machine, and so you get to offload a few shirts, and you get to like, wait a second, okay, I touched a shirt today. This feels good.
But I also think that's good for morale in your shop too, right? You're the guy writing the check, but you're also out there doing whatever it takes, right?
And they're all also under their breath being like, this fucking guy doesn't know what he's doing.
Get him the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
I mean, my whole thing is to try to speed the press up and run it faster just to show them that it could be done,
Right.
Instead
Yeah.
of like little things. But I don't know. I think it makes them appreciate you more.
Yeah. Well, we didn't get to talk much about you guys just in general. Like, where's the shop? Like, what's going on? What kind of shop?
We're in Sparks, Nevada, which is the suburb of Reno. We've been around, I've been there 13 years. When I met Anthony, he burned screens for me for my garage press because I wasn't going to be rinsing them in my bathtub. And I did his first website, and then I needed a part-time graphic design job. Started with him, and then 13 years later, I do business operations, and he does production, screen printing. And
So it's
we do
working
all
out.
contract.
Yeah, works well.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
And then I was kind of born and raised around screen printing. My uncle started, manufacturing for baby bottles, bibs, and all that kind of stuff. So my dad started screen printing at 17 years old. So I kind of grew up around that.
Was he screen printing the baby stuff?
He was screen printing babies.
Literal babies.
No, they were
He was
screen
putting
printing
shirts
like
on
Gotta
them.
watch out for the soft spot.
like pillows and cut and sew kind of
Yeah,
things.
yeah.
They started off there. They started with 6 employees in 1982, I believe, somewhere around there, and grew it from there to 2,000 employees.
Damn.
So I was kind of raised in and around all of that kind of stuff. From there, we moved to Reno. I started printing in 2002, 2003 in my garage, like most people did.
What
right?
were you printing on?
What did I have? Old four station.
Workhorse.
No, it wasn't a workhorse. Four station. It was
Was
like
it-
an all-in-one, right? That had, you could put your screens in the bottom, like Pentex or something like that. I don't know. All in one. So I went from the garage, was doing graphic design kind of at the same time. Went from the garage, and then I got a 10 by 10 shed. Literally pissing out there, taking all my screens to the wash station, doing all that stuff.
So did you have forgot. So I had to cut a hole in the back of my garage and put a door
Yeah.
to go to my shed. And the garage, kind of, you were talking about different levels. It was a foundation pour, and I had to step over it, like each time to go to my shed.
Yep.
It was fun.
Yeah.
In the winter, and if it's raining, it doesn't matter.
You know, when I was in that 10 by 10 shed, I would literally put all my screens in a garbage bag.
Yeah, black
Put
garbage
them
bag.
inside like a little bin, right? And then put them in my trunk, go to the car wash, expose everything. Wash everything
I talk
out.
so much shit about people going to the car wash.
But hey, I had to do it. That's all I had. I literally
get it,
rented a 10
but
by
I
10
feel like
shed.
such a dick taking dirty plastisol screens to the car wash.
I had to do it. That's what I did.
It's better than your bathtub.
Yeah, but it's someone
I mean, how many guys do the bathtub? You see them online, right? Wash them out in your sink.
So you
It all goes to the
use
same
an ink
place.
degradant, and it degrades the ink. But what was so great about the car wash is I lined them along the wall on both sides. You line up a dozen or in a dozen, and you just like walk down the line,
Yeah.
and you blast them out, and it's pretty fast,
Yeah,
actually. And I brought my kid, and I made him.
I'm not concerned with your method. I'm concerned with the residue left at the car wash.
I did a little cleanup after.
Yeah, you spray it
and
off, right?
Yeah, it's good. You should
spray some chemical down.
I'm just saying, us as business owners now, like, remember when we were kids and we didn't give a shit if we were throwing Molotov cocktails or we were spray painting a wall or we were grinding somebody's front steps or whatever.
Yeah.
But now we're business owners and we see some kid like graffiti our wall of our building.
It
We're like,
pisses
I
you
will
off.
murder this person.
and we did the same thing.
But that's
right?
what I'm saying. We're talking about going to somebody's place of business who's trying to keep cars clean, and we're fucking blowing plastisol and emulsion all over the place, and then being like, "All right, cool. I paid $3 to wash screens out and left."
Yeah.
I
think
$3.
Okay, whatever.
yeah.
It's probably not the worst thing that the car wash has seen down
I mean,
their
that's
drains.
true too. Yeah.
We're from Reno.
Yeah.
Like,
Right. Yeah. I get it.
So from there, where did we go? Where did I go? I went. I moved into a 800 square foot building. Bought my first Diamondback XL. Had 2 part-time employees, and then Amber came on 2012.
yeah.
And then from there, we grew into. We took over five spots.
Yeah, we just kept taking over the neighbor's
really?
spot,
Damn.
knocking the wall
cutting
down.
walls down and all that kind of stuff. We went from 2 autos.
Yeah, and then when we moved, we got the first Gauntlet.
Well, because we're in the M&R booth, why did you go with what you went with?
So my dad originally went with, long story, but he went with Progressives at one point when they had the Falcons. I don't know if you guys remember they had green Falcons at one point. I think Robert Barnes kind of developed that, and it was similar to M&R. My dad had 4 of those, and then he was stoked, right? I'm kind of following in his footsteps. He told me, listen, don't buy these presses. I started looking at M&R. I knew a few people there, and I pulled the trigger on M&R, and it was honestly the best decision that I think I ever made.
Yeah.
They're built like workhorses. I mean, today we run them literally 2 shifts, as hard as we can run them from 5 a.m. to 12 o'clock at night, 6 days a week, and they don't go down.
Yeah. I was just gonna say they last forever. I mean, one of the first presses ever is right there.
Yeah, I mean, when was that built?
Running
right?
in the-
yeah, it's
running
amazing.
right
we
now
went to
in the shop.
Chicago last 2 years ago. We were in Chicago a year ago.
Clearly, I'm not good at time.
But yeah, we saw that there, and it's just
Sometime.
I mean, it's amazing.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
still running.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
I mean, for us, it's all about the support. We have amazing support with them.
Yeah.
I mean, it's amazing.
I mean, obviously we like M&R. Me and Andy are both M&R shops, but in general, just like talking about the presses. And sorry, M&R, I went on a trip with them to Nashville, and there was a shop that we visited there. And I didn't really know going into that shop like what they were going to have, what was going on. It's this old dude who like loves printing, been printing for forever, prints all this like Nashville merch and all this like, you know, country stars and all this other stuff. Go in there and he's like, "Yep, I bought this press when I was, you know, like 20." The dude's like, you know, like 70, and it's like still like running everything, and like every press was an old press that he bought originally, and he runs all day every day, like all his production like normal. I'm just like, dude, these things are fucking tanks.
And that's why you decided to buy M&R, right?
Yeah, I have so we have a couple newer presses, but we also have this 2012 Sportsman.
Attention all attendees at the Expression Expo.
Okay, are we back?
Here we are. Are we good?
M&R's really getting with the times this year.
Yeah, so just then somebody bought a press, and they had the opportunity to win some sort of percentage off. And we started talking like, I think they got a 16 color gauntlet, and if you get a 16, why not get an 18? And we were just saying that we couldn't think of a reason, and only reason really is just space would be it.
It's like 40 feet wide.
Yeah, like maybe you don't have any room because, like you said, you had 3 feet of room with your 18.
Yep.
And how much bigger can you go?
Well, I got a question that goes with this too for you guys. Is a lot of the things that I've been hearing and talking to people or whatever is in the world of screen printing stuff. Lucas, in the world of screen printing stuff, you would always say that, like, if I have the room, why not go with an 18? Why not go with the biggest dryer? Why not go with this? Because you're going to need it. You're going to want it. It's less spins, all this other stuff. The new age now of digital stuff coming in, it kind of is going the other way, where at some point, if the DTF stuff catches up quality-wise, are you trying to lick my hand? In that case,
Finish it.
at some point, does it make sense math-wise, quality-wise, speed-wise to maybe not buy anything over a 10-color press because you're only going to ever screen print 6 colors or under, and then 6 colors or over, you're going to maybe make something on the Quattro and then save the time, energy, and
I think that depends on what market you're in. Right?
No, I agree. That's why I'm asking you guys. Like, for you, does it make sense?
I don't
Are
think
you dipping
for us
into?
it would make any sense. We don't do any DTF as of now. I've come to her every month and go, should we do DTF? Should we do DTF? And she says no.
Everybody's doing DTF. You've got stay-at-home moms in their garage with a DTF printer on Etsy. So at some point, you're going to invest in this equipment. The competition is going to be cutthroat. We're going to be making less money. Yeah. I have an 11-year-old girl, so yeah, right now, moms are
So I
hard.
think a couple of things. I was with you on that, and we were saying this for a while on the show. Like, why would you get anything above a 14 or maybe even a 12?
Yeah.
Because everything on our our largest press is 14. So anything above that, why not just go shift over to DTF? In fact, we're trying to get some of the stuff off our 14 and go DTF. Here's the problem. I had a customer call me on Monday, and he's like, hey, it's for a haunted house. And so you can imagine, like, the graphics, a lot of colors. Well, when we were running that last October for him, a whole batch of shirts went out, DTF. And he's like, what is this shit?
Absolutely.
And he's like, it's shiny. And
heavy.
It's heavy. We talked to them. Somebody was ordered them, and he didn't order it. Somebody was helping him did. And we told them, tried to set expectations, but we failed on our end. I said, look, just bring them all back. We'll credit you. It's fine. Anyway, he called me now. He has this order. And he's like, don't give me that. Like, I want to come in and do a press check and make sure that you don't give me that. Otherwise, I got to go somewhere else. So there are customers that refuse DTF. And I have a couple of those that are larger that would never want anything to do with DTF. And so there are those customers that exist. And I think that's good. I think that there's room for both.
Yep.
And I think that you're right and accurate in that we may have, maybe by the time this year's done, peaked on DTF. It was growing, and it's going to slow down eventually. And we might be approaching that area. It's not going to go away at all. But I think it's like you said, in your contract shop, and I don't think any of your customers, most of them anyway.
I think a lot, like you said, a lot of our customers have told us, no, we do not want that heavy feel. I listened and I talked to a lot of people, and everybody I've talked to says, no, we do not want that. We've actually done tests with some guys that come to us with a digital squeegee and say, we don't want a digital squeegee, we want your simulated process. We don't want the digital squeegee.
I get that. I've heard that a bunch, that it's more bands. Like, if you're doing bands and you're doing contract,
yes,
whatever, bands don't want that look or hand or feel.
They want a soft
and
hand
I'm going to
feel.
fight on the DTF side, even though I don't necessarily want to. But, like, I feel like more and more for the market that I go after, which is like the comic book shops and the comedians who always want like pictures of their face and like everything else, they're more and more open to it because right now, if you go to a retail store, you go to the mall, it's like 50-50.
Yeah.
Like, everything you see, like, it's done right when it's done certain ways. So I definitely think there's a place for it. My hopes are with the technology is that they get a better hand feel. They get a better, the printers have changed like drastically. Like, even right now, like the Quattro's right in front of us, like making stuff like that didn't exist a year ago, 2 years ago,
Yeah,
whatever.
absolutely.
So it's like that more and more of that stuff is coming out. I feel like it's going to get better and better. I just see in our shop, specifically with our clientele, it's creeping up to where it's almost production over here is the screen printing and production over here is the DTF stuff, because we're having customers request it. Like Andy was saying, sometimes you look at a job and you're like, for us, this makes sense to offer them DTF. We're having customers that are like, I want 500 shirts DTF.
Wow.
Like, this is just what I want. And I'm like, okay. So we had to make a solution where we're basically putting hot heads on the press so that we can DTF on the auto for time quicker, and get it out faster and whatever. So I don't know. Like you said, it's all based on markets. Like, I do know a lot of band people who are like, I just don't want that. I'm used to. We've had it before too with like biker gangs and bands and stuff where we would be proud to be like, oh, this is a discharge print. We made this print look really good. And they're like, what is this? You're trying to cheap us. This is garbage. We want the print to be this thick, like white plastisol. I want to be able to hear the crack when I bend it.
They're used to manual printing, right?
Like,
Print,
they want that
print.
hand feel. And I feel like with bands, it's the same thing. They want that hardcore band, white ink, thick, like, Keepers of the Faith, like thick white print on the front of their shirt.
Absolutely.
So I think it's all based on market. Yeah. But I mean, I can agree with both sides all the way around. So I think it kind of is.
I mean, do you see yourself purchasing a DTF machine to print? No. I mean, there's so many guys out there right now that are in that market producing a DTF transfer that I like what you were saying, that's becoming so competitive.
Yeah, I think it makes sense if you would need speed. So, like, if you need...
Yeah, absolutely.
But if you're just doing
Once again, goes back to your market, right?
If you're doing a normal 10 to 15 business day turnaround for a client, I can order it on a Thursday, have it on a Tuesday, press it, be done, and have it out in the same amount of time.
Right.
Yeah.
Why would I have the employee, the headache of the machine, maintenance, everything else?
You mentioned DTF moms and cricket moms and all this, and I think that I want to make the argument for M&R makes something called the Maverick. I like DTG, and I know DTG has a bad name since, in a sense, because of the pre-treat hassle and how DTF makes it takes away all that. But I think that a very nice direct-to-garment shirt, sometimes you can't tell at the end. Like, really, it's tough. I'm a screen printer, and I can usually, but the customer on a really nice DTG, they're not going to know.
Well,
and that's where I want to see the market go.
Well, so I think for us too, what I've thought about is, could we do samples off of that? Right? So instead of
100%.
tying up our machine, because we talk about this a lot, so we have customers that we do photo approvals for. And it's like, okay, we set up, you can get close, but we set up a job, it's 12, 13 colors. Well, it might take 2 hours for that to get approved. We don't want to run a manual. We don't do that. And it's like, okay, could we do a digital thing and get it close enough for a screen? Yeah, DTG. I'm sorry.
There was a shop, and I'm going to butcher this again because my memory's terrible. But I went and visited with M&R. I think it was Design Inc. And basically, they do the market of like all the resort markets and whatnot. So we went there, and they had 2 Polarises. So basically, they were like, hey, normally we would have to do all the sampling in the beginning of the year that we send all these resorts so that they will buy from. It takes us months or something to just do all these samples. They were doing them in days with the Polaris because they basically just had stacks. They were like barcode, 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 print. Different shirt every time. Yeah. They got all their samples done in like days.
Wow.
And they were like, cool. Like, now we can go to producing because
so now
we're done.
They can use those 3 presses that they were tied up for 3 months
to just
and
produce.
do all the sampling in 2 days.
So like the Polaris is just doing all the 1Z, 2Z samples and everything super fast.
And they probably explain to their customers, hey, this is a sample done on this. It's going to look a little bit different. Colors might look a little different.
Or we could just run your whole job on this if that's what you want.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
That's right. Absolutely.
So no, it made... Again, like to Andy's point, it's all based on what does your shop do, what is your clientele, whatever. That's why there's a million different tools. If it was all the same, we all have the same clientele, there would be one press you buy, one dryer you buy, whatever. We all have all these different tools. So for you guys, what's next? You said you got recently the Reclaim and the rinse, but what's next in your growth?
So I think right now I'm kind of thinking about, the market's weird, right? Real estate's high. Interest is high. I've been thinking strongly about buying a building just because we throw away so much money to rent. I think our next move is we've got 14 months left on our lease, moving into double or triple the size building and adding, I think, 2 more presses. Mm-hmm. So I think we're going to go with 18 color Gauntlet 4s. Just for us, because we do a lot of high color counts, right? We need 3 flashes.
Well, if you buy them today,
We could get
spin the
3% off, or we could spin the wheel.
Or you get $100.
Or $100, right? What's better?
That $100 will really help with the moving to another building and
Yeah.
buying
Yeah,
those
so
presses.
that's a lot all at one time,
Right,
right? It's
right.
like, so we're in the planning phase of like, where do we go first, right?
See, that stuff boggles my mind because my entire experience in this industry was I bought a building, but I never had that plan. Like I wasn't foresight of like, oh, I'm going to do this. This makes more sense. I just had the opportunity to buy a building right off the bat. So for people that are like, oh no, I leased this and I have all this equipment, I put X thousands of dollars in for power and drops and this and
It's a lot of money.
changed a bunch of things. Now you're like, oh, I'm just going to move to another one and then I might build another thing. To me, that's like, fuck, that alone makes my skin crawl.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, I've been thinking about it for the last, I don't know, 6 months to a year, thinking, okay, this is going to cost me this much for electrical, gas,
right.
all the cost to move everything. And it's like, okay, do I just buy a building at this point?
Yeah. Well, what's your challenge? Just where you are in Nevada?
Yeah, I
It's
mean, everything's
expensive.
expensive, right? We're close to California. Everybody's moving from California, Nevada, Florida, all these places, so everything's skyrocketed. I mean, the size of building that we need is going to be close to $7 million. So down payment, 20%, plus moving.
So I'm going to be your friend that tries to talk you out of it. I lease also. And yeah, it's a lot of money going out every month. And I'm at that point where, yeah, at the size anyway, that makes sense. I shouldn't be leasing. A lot of people tell me I shouldn't be leasing, I should buy. However, I have my lease, and that's what it is a month, and that's what it always is. And it never changes. It's not my problem, if certain things go wrong. Yeah, I mean, next year maybe they raise next time we re-sign, they're going to raise your CAM, but it's also limited. And so, like, your leases, you can only raise so much, and it's tied to other things. Like, they can't just double your rent or anything.
Yeah.
And so I would make the argument that you take that cap, instead of, the 20% down or whatever you're going to do to put down on that new building, and use it for something else. Invest it or invest in your equipment and use that capital for something else and lease. I love a lease. I used to own my own building twice.
Okay.
And I thought I was doing the right thing then. And now that I am leasing, I really like it. I think it's a good thing. I think there's arguments for both.
I think the problem with where we're at is we're responsible for everything. So clearly we're not in a great lease.
Oh, I think it's just the market that we're in.
And yeah, they can do whatever they want to do.
Yeah, but well, so
HVAC repairs or
everything, right? So when you sign a lease, for the most part for commercial, you're responsible for everything on the inside. The only
They're just
thing
giving you a shell, basically.
Yeah, they're giving you. So the
Yeah.
only thing they're responsible for is the roof. So anything that breaks on
Which
the
we
inside,
pay for.
Yeah, which we pay for. They re-roofed our whole
Over
building
years.
They upped our
Yeah, they
upped
raised
our
their cams like $1,000 a month to re-roof it so they could sell the building.
So it's just things like that, right?
So you need a new landlord.
We
is the
do.
problem.
Yeah.
We do.
The problem is the corporate landlord.
And where we're at because of the growth in our area, it's all corporate owned real estate now.
Let me ask you this though: does your location matter to your clients?
Not at all.
Well, yeah.
So get the fuck
Well-
out of Nevada.
It does because we're right by
So-
San Mar and SNS, so a lot of contract brokers will come to us.
Well, not
because of
necessarily
that.
Nevada, but like go outskirts where it's cheaper.
Another thing
There's
that
not
we've
a
been
lot out
thinking.
there.
Well, the other thing that I've been thinking about, we've been thinking about, is actually opening a second location. So now we don't have to grow the Nevada location. We'll keep it at the size.
Whitney Point, New York.
Yeah, it's real cheap.
Absolutely.
Real
Yes.
cheap.
Is it?
Yeah,
Well,
fuck
we're
yeah,
there.
super cheap. I bought my entire old railroad building that now I own, and then I have 2 rentals in, cheaper than I bought my first Sportsman.
What?
Yeah.
No kidding.
Yes.
We're moving.
There you go.
We're out. So I think for us, I think moving, possibly opening a second location, maybe down south somewhere where it's cheaper, and then we can serve both sides, right? So
Yeah.
fast turnaround.
I'm going to be your friend again.
Okay. How are
You're
you
so
gonna?
friendly.
How can you do 2 locations and be at the same
Oh my
place,
God.
right?
Oh my gosh.
Do I want the headache?
Okay, yeah. I mean, that's going to require.
Are we moving to Missouri?
Okay, yeah. Maybe we can work something out. It's kind of the South. I don't know. The idea of, and I know you're young and you have energy. Both of you have more energy maybe than me. Although I am. Let's not go there.
We just look
but-
really good. We're pretty old.
We look young.
You do. You all both have beautiful eyes and everything.
Look,
Like,
wow, he's hitting on
yeah.
me. This is getting kind of
Can
weird.
I sit a little
This
closer?
is getting weird.
No.
He's getting close.
Where I was going with that is that, you can be, you have what you have, And I don't know how full your plate is, but you do a very good job, making sure that that's the best and really good. And now all of a sudden you're going to have this other spot, satellite location, that you have to be at. And unless you have plans on, like, hey, I want to be in Florida anyway, vacationing when it's cold. Is it cold in Nevada where you are?
Absolutely.
High
20
desert.
degrees this morning when we left.
Okay, so you may be like, look, I don't want to even be here anyway. I want to be down in wherever you're going to build this other location. Maybe that makes sense. But I think that's just it, is that you're going to have, all these other pieces of equipment that you have to trust somebody when it goes down. Who's going to take care of that? And then the team that you're building, like who's running that team? And that's, like, as we know, that's one of the hardest things. And who's choosing and running that team and managing that team? And now you have two of those situations, double, and I think actually triple, because it's not just like you have what you have now. Now it's all of a sudden 1,000 miles away. So what I've learned is that life, and recently too, is that there's so much to life, and I don't want you to be stuck in a shop more than you have to be. I want you to be on your skateboard or surfboard or bike or whatever, and do your thing and be happy and really, really think hard.
About having a
Sell
second
the business
location.
and get away.
Yeah.
Is what he's trying to say.
And to
Just
be
fuck it
honest, I think this year was a lot for me. I grew a lot this year because I was so invested into the business, and like you guys, right? I mean, we're screen printers. I'm in it, and it's like, at what point do I need to relax and back off and spend time with my family? And my oldest daughter's 17. I spent numerous hours, nights, weekends working at the shop, and I missed a lot of her, young life growing up. And
Well, the question is, do you need to grow or do you want to grow?
He wants to grow.
For me, I want to grow. That's just what's inside of me. I think, I don't know.
Turn that off.
Yeah, it's how do you turn that off, right? Like, I'm fortunate enough, honestly, we have amazing staff, right? Amber's director of operations. My sister runs production. We've got supervisors. That's my sister.
She will not come on this side of the camera.
Yeah,
Don't
well,
even
come
ask.
say hi. Just say
There's
hi.
room on that couch.
Come say hi.
You don't have to.
So I am fortunate to where I can come in at 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock.
Right here. You here.
Yeah, right here. Get over here. Come
You
on
get
over.
her in the middle.
I'm fortunate where I can come in later now and things are easier. But for me, I mean, honestly, I don't like that. I like being wanted, needed, and to be busy.
Yeah. All right. Tell us
I don't know.
everything.
Yeah,
No?
she doesn't want me in the fucking shop. That's the truth. But I don't know. For some reason, I don't know. I love it. I'm a Leo.
You have this, you want to be wanted and needed, thinking.
I don't know. I don't know what it is.
He doesn't think about anything but screen printing. It's exhausting.
Until you don't.
It's how I don't know. For me,
Yeah.
it's how do we grow bigger?
I get it. I understand it. I don't know. It's hard for me to process just because, I mean, I don't know, I'm younger, but I'm also very, like I said, when I bought the building, I bought the equipment. I don't have any debt in that stuff.
Yeah.
I have my crew of people. For me, the hardest thing now, especially, is finding humans that are like us.
Yeah, and it's
You know
rare.
what I mean? It's rare to
Yep.
find. I feel like one out of every 10 hires is that one that's like, oh, you get us. You have the same values. You have the same whatever. We can say the crudest, grossest things in front of you, and you're one of us. You're not like, oh, I'm going to start looking for a lawyer. You know what I mean?
And
like,
you get to a certain point, and it's like, I don't know. You get to a certain point, and it's like the quality. You want that quality, just like you're printing, or I'm printing, or you're printing, and it's like, at what point? I don't know. At what point is that lost?
yeah.
Right?
Well, we set out years ago of like, we want, no matter how big we get, we don't want it to feel corporate. We both came from corporate environment.
Yeah.
We want to hang out with these people.
It's very, very hard to keep that the bigger you go, though.
It is. I mean,
But I think we're doing really good.
yes. There's
Tiffany, what do you do at Stitches?
He's
I
going to
manage-
get you to talk.
I manage the back
Okay.
production.
So people, also.
People.
Oh, I missed that part. Sorry. Oh, that's So, yeah, that's one of the toughest parts is managing people. And so, what are your? Can you share a couple of your secrets on how you do that?
she can't.
Well, you can say, because you guys have been together for a really long time, like, are you having good luck with support staff, like managers and everything like that?
Yeah.
I mean,
we have a couple people that I think we promoted a little early They did not have great management experience, so now I'm kind of backtracking of trying to train them. And it goes for all of us. Like, we've all grown a lot.
Because I feel like I have a hard time with reteaching something later on.
It's going, I think, well, because we have such great people.
We have a lot of long-term employees,
we do.
right?
Like most, if you look out, we're at the point right now, I mean, you always do, like, the end of the year, you have to lay some people off because it slows down in this industry regardless of who your clientele is. And we're down to the point where if we had to lay any more off, it would be really hard.
This was the first year that as many people we had to lay off. It was hard to make the decision of, okay, who are we going to lay off? Because we had so many good employees this year. Like, it was hard. It was very hard to do that.
And they all are ready to come back. I had one texting me this morning.
I have a theory, and I think it's a phenomena. And so people always, it's a common question early on is like, how do you hire in and train people? You know, how this just seems so hard. You know, an early stage, and like definitely under 10, small, you know, size shop. And I think that sometimes people try that and they're unsuccessful, and they're like, look, I don't want to grow. Like, I'm just going to stay this size. Forget it. This is just too hard. But I think the inverse is actually true. Do you feel like the bigger you get, the easier it is to find people and train them in because you just put, hey, you know what, so-and-so, Bob is going to go work with this person, you know, Dave. And then you get trained in, and it works.
I think it's 100%
more automation that you have too.
Absolutely, it is. But I think, like you said, the bigger shop you have, I think it's easier to train people. For us right now, what we've learned is everybody that's on a press needs to be able to load and operate the press, whether that's an assistant or an operator. Right? They
Just
share.
cross-training all the time,
We cross-train them. So not only do we have, we have run 7 machines, we have 14 operators on the floor at any given time. I think for us, that's been the best thing that we've done.
Yeah.
Oh,
she's going to talk. Hold on.
Sorry,
Just a little bit.
Talk. Let's go.
The QC, the person at the end, has to be able to be the assistant. So you always are moving people around. So we just started that, training everybody.
Well, it's also nice too because if you're moving around like end of the dryer to pulling off to loading ink on the press or whatever,
Use them anywhere.
you kind of know too at the end, and then you're back at the end of the dryer. You know what to look for.
Absolutely.
When something happens, you're like, hey, this is actually happening here. It's not just like, oh, ink, end of shirt. It's like they know where it's coming from, what screen it's coming from,
And
why
why.
it's coming, why it's happening.
Almost everyone we hire starts at quality control at the end of the dryer. And you can tell after a month or so what they're interested in, and it's a type of a spot that you can burn out. That role is a high turnover role, but what we do is one day the press assist is on PTO or they call out sick or whatever. It's like, hey, can you go help on press, today? And that person's kind of natural. They've been hanging around the press. They're not scared of the machine as much. All of a sudden they're over there and they're offloading, and it's very natural. And the next thing you know, they're, hey, can you set up this one color? We need to go grab some black ink, and they throw it in there. Hey, it's kind of fun. And and you see that person all of a sudden press assisting that was at QC, and it's very natural. You almost didn't have to try to train them.
Yeah.
They want to do that.
I think another big thing that we learned this year that the girls in the back at QCing are doing, so since sometimes they'll have a little bit of downtime when they're running like a 12 or 13 color job, it takes a little bit longer to set up, right? We've found them, since they're running on the bigger press that many screens, they're actually jumping up from QC and start cleaning all the screens out. They're already getting used to like being around the machine, knowing where the colors go, how to handle all the screens. So from that, we've been able to train them going straight onto the press a lot faster that way. It gets them used to everything.
I have that too. It's awesome to see too when you walk out in the shop and there is that QC at the end of the dryer, and then you see them scraping ink out of screens or
because
detaping
you know
or
they
like
want to
setting
move up, right?
Yeah,
so you
it's
take
awesome.
that person and you move them up instantly. That's been huge for us this year.
Yep. And I guess to kind of like wrap this up a little bit, we were talking before we were recording that just last year in general was kind of weird, like ups, downs, all over. I've never experienced a year like last year. And with you saying you want to grow and all this other stuff, do you have any hesitation after the way last year was? Or are you just hoping and praying and that it goes back to busy summers and slower winters? And
I think this year's going to be a lot bigger.
this year's been great for us so far.
I think, honestly,
so I'm stoked on it so far.
I talk to a lot of shops and a lot of people around, and I think from what I see is happening a lot is you see a lot of shops that are 1, 2, 3 auto shops wanting to complete because they don't have the labor, they don't know how to train people in this industry, what I see is a lot of them shutting down
Yeah.
and outsourcing everything. So
Yep.
a lot of new customers that we're getting, which we just picked up a really good customer that's more of a partnership, not a customer, had 3 autos. They're shutting that place down and they're doing nothing but art and sales. And I feel like that's what's
100%.
coming to us a lot
It
more
is
right
coming.
now.
Yeah, I'm witnessing that as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think people get into this industry thinking it's easy. It's
Yeah.
not easy.
See a
Or
lot
they
of
just get
used
burnt
equipment.
Yeah.
They struggle and struggle. They never get to that point where they're feeling like it's on autopilot. They're just constantly robbing Peter to pay Paul,
Yeah,
or
absolutely.
they're fighting every day for it to go, and they're just done. They're tired.
But I'd be lying to you if I said I'm not scared. Last year was crazy. It was really weird. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
it drug out. I mean, we didn't get going until what, April?
Early April.
I mean,
Most
and
people-
it was
most
it
people
was a
just said
roller
last year was
coaster
flat.
after that, right? Yeah, it was
Yeah.
flat. And I was very surprised when we finished everything at the end of this year to know that we were actually
We're up
by
13%.
13%. I was
'Cause you
blown-
made up
I
for
was-
it.
I was
Yeah.
blown away. No, because for the slowest part of the year, we all know is January and February for the most part. And I'm like, okay, it's over. We got a couple huge jobs in March, and I was like, here we go. We're ready to go. We hired a lot of people, and then it went flat for months. Like it was very difficult to deal with.
Yeah, but I said this before, just on top of the question or the comment that you said, is that, we like risk. Otherwise, we wouldn't be doing this. If it was easy and there weren't any risk, everyone would they would do it. And so it's something about that, the expansion, that's exciting and that's risky and that you want to make work, and that will maybe re-inspire something that you're looking for.
The thing is,
You'll feel wanted.
the thing is, that,
Wanted and needed.
the thing is that the truth is that you know how to make it work, and that's what's exciting to you. Is like you're like, I know I could do this.
Absolutely.
It's just the market that you need to be on board with you as well.
Yeah.
So I fully believe in you. I feel like you guys could do it. It's just a matter of
We just met, but
Andy
thanks
wants
for
you
the
to,
support.
to move it all to Missouri.
You know who I believe in? This guy right here taking a picture
Oh
of us.
hell yeah! There he is.
There he is. Come on over. Look. He lives 30 minutes from me. Look at him.
Comes over there with his hot rods and dune buggies.
I definitely don't want.
Yes.
Or I'm not needed and wanted by him. Come on. Come sit down.
Cameron's the man.
You look.
Oh, he can't. He's working. Yeah. Do you have any over-unders? Do we want to make some up on the spot?
Oh, God, okay. What did I have to eat today? We'll go with that.
Oh, you had that breakfast sandwich.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay, so I got one. Let me know if you think it's overrated, underrated, or properly rated. Egg in the hole.
You have to have context.
You don't know what an egg in the hole is? Come on.
Yeah.
You're talking. Cut it out. Put an egg in the middle. I got you.
Yeah.
I don't
I'm
like
a-
over easy eggs.
Well,
But why does it feel fancier that you're putting the egg inside of the bread?
I never saw that breakfast until I watched V for Vendetta, the movie, and that's what he made. Natalie Portman was that kind of thing.
It's an English
And it was
thing.
like this whole thing. I don't think I've ever even actually had it. Christina had it at breakfast this morning. He had the leftovers. But
Where'd you eat breakfast?
the best place by far, my favorite, is Breakfast Bar.
That's
it's like
where we go every day.
We've been
We
to
love
Breakfast
that
Bar
place.
every
You guys
year.
are to It's-
Every
it's-
year.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the best.
Yep.
I usually get the meatloaf and eggs. I passed on it this morning because I knew I'd be here and I didn't want to be like, oh, meatloaf and eggs. So I went with like half a breakfast sandwich and went light.
Underrated, overrated, properly rated.
Well, I've never personally had one. I think it looks awesome, so I'm going to say properly rated.
I've never had it, so
Tomorrow you can have one.
You're gonna have-
Overrated.
They have
I
it as a
think-
breakfast sandwich at Breakfast Bar. So both pieces of bread are the eggs, and then they have cheese and bacon in the middle.
Okay, I mean that sounds like
sounds pretty good.
Yeah, that's like an egg in a
Annie
hole,
had it.
extra fancy.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Bougie egg in the hole. Okay. All right, let's do a screen printing one. Let's say trade shows for you guys.
Trade
Overrated?
shows?
Yeah, trade shows in general.
No,
I
it's not
think-
overrated at all.
This one is probably we go to like 2 a year, but I think this one is the
What's
perfect
your other one?
timing. We went to Print United this year, right? In Vegas.
Vegas.
Yeah.
Vegas.
I'd say Long Beach is the best show to go to.
But was that
Biggest
just
show.
to go to Vegas, or was that to go to the show?
We live in Reno. We don't care about Vegas.
Oh, that's true. I forgot
We
about
got we
that.
got plenty of gambling there.
Yeah. All right.
This one I
Um,
think comes at the right time. Like we've come off
People are
the
slow.
slow season. We all we're burnt out still from the summer.
Yeah.
We just spent 10 days with our families, straight, no work. And I don't know, I always come to this feeling like I'm kind of in the dumps before I get here. And
But then
I
you get a
feel
little bit
re-inspired.
motivated and
Yeah.
re-inspired.
We get to
Yeah,
talk
yeah.
to people. Like, I think this year for me, especially has been, haven't been motivated. I go into the office and it's like the same day, the last 13 years.
Yeah.
It's like Groundhog Day.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's one aspect of the show that is overlooked is that just the mental
Yes.
side of it, because exactly what you just said, especially for somebody like in St. Louis where it's cold and snowy and gets dark at like, I don't know, 4 or whatever. And so you come here and you
get a breakfast bar, and then you come
And
to the
sunshine at the beach.
show. Yeah.
Friends.
It's awesome.
Fancy sandwiches.
Yeah.
Fancy sandwiches. Well, I mean, being here, are you guys looking at anything? I know you're talking about expanding eventually, but you're not. I mean, are you going to take advantage of this 5% deal?
So
Oh, God.
Cameron and I.
These two are getting ready. All right, go ahead.
Cameron and I were looking at how we could fit a 16 or 18 color at the shop now. I think we've figured it out. So if the timing's right, then maybe we'll purchase a machine. Possibly.
yeah.
But we'll see.
Okay.
You have a dryer available?
Yeah. Yes, we do.
Because you obviously got to get that.
And you wanted
Yeah.
the G4?
Yeah, I think we would go with G4, 16 to 18 color.
Nice.
I think just this year alone, taking on a few new customers, do a lot of high color counts. So
That thing is sweet.
yeah,
I love the
our
G4.
18 color now, we've got an 18, a 16, and 14 all in a row, and then we have the smaller presses off to the side. The 18 color, I think, on a busy day is running like 65 to 70 screens a day, and that's just that press. So
Yeah.
we need another machine to be able to hold high color counts. And second shift is there, but we all know that I can't really. Yeah, it's a different thing, right?
It's like a second location.
Almost the same as another location.
Absolutely. Well, you don't have the same supervisors there, right? So somebody on second shift running a 12 or 13 color job is kind of hard to trust.
Tell me you have the quick clean, auto squeegee cleaner.
No, not
We
yet.
do not, and the reason that we
We don't have space.
is power. So we actually bought one last year at the show.
Did you just say space?
We don't have
No,
space.
You were just
We have-
talking about
we have
getting
space.
We don't
a
have
26
but like
color.
where
The
it needs
space.
to go, we don't have the space.
So it's the
or
power.
the power.
Last year we bought one here. We bought one last year. Yeah. Well, okay.
Oh,
So
we are like in the negative power.
we
I
got
don't
back
know where
from the
it's
You
show.
have to
coming
shut
from.
things off to turn other things on.
I can't even have. We had like
we
a
had a big
Keurig in the
fire
office
last year
and we
after
couldn't have
after
it.
Long Beach. So I canceled the quick clean because of that. Gas generator and spend a little bit more money.
Yeah.
We'll save you money.
Yeah.
Because I love it. We love it.
I mean, we did buy one, and once we had that fire, I canceled a few things because I was like, no, I don't want to.
I mean,
risk
that's
it.
reasonable.
I mean,
Yeah.
I don't wanna burn the whole shop down.
Right,
we just
right.
burned half of it down.
We
But
didn't
Was it
burn
was an
anything
electrical
down.
issue?
we did, yeah.
Damn.
So the outside power box burned, and it had nothing to do with us, thank God.
Well, I'm going to be your friend here.
It wasn't our fault. It wasn't our fault.
If that-
It was an old electrical problem.
I'm just kidding. You have 75 screens. That means 75 squeegees, 75 flood bars on that press
We know.
that you have to clean.
Yeah.
Quick clean.
We could just take away 3 of the 6 microwaves that you guys have in the break room, and maybe it's enough
There
power.
you
Now
go.
we've got 30 amps of power.
Power, yeah. It's like Apollo 13 when he's sitting in the thing and he's trying to get just one more amp. He's like, guys, do this, shut this off, sequence.
I mean, you like yours? You love it?
I don't have to even say anything. Like it's so, yeah. So I don't know.
Is there cleaning afterwards
No.
at all?
So yeah, no. So like, I guess it depends on how you put this. How do you put them in?
Yeah, it's
so,
yeah.
Yeah. But if you have to put, so hold on, if you put them in and you don't prep them and you put them in, you'll have to run your cycle a different length or a double cycle, for example.
And then what about your rinse, right? There's a rinse involved. at
There's
the
a
end.
rinse because what's nice about that, yeah, so it's a fresh water at the end that gets any chemical off your rubber. So there's no, what's it called? Expansion? Yeah. And so
Well, also, too, you just had Alex out to mess with your chemical for that machine, too.
there's a special chemical.
Your recommendation?
I don't remember, but my production manager, Kyle, will definitely know. Just hit him up.
We'll have him on in a
everyone
few
knows
seconds.
Kyle. Just message Kyle and he'll let you know what it is. But yeah, or actually Alex, easy way.
talk to Alex.
Yeah. So Yeah, I mean, look, so the person who runs our Quick Clean also runs our EcoText, also puts ink away, scrapes screens, scrapes, and also tags at the end of the dryer when he's not doing that, also cleans the shop, and he's also doing all those squeegees and flub bars, and they're beautiful. And he said thank you, by the way, when we got it. He was like, oh my God.
Best
like
thing
my
ever.
hands, because you ever, it hurts.
Yeah.
I'm just picturing a guy crawling out from under the thing in rags, being like, "Oh, thank you, oh, my hands!" Like the guy from Scary Movie, where he's like,
It is. Well,
"My
it's
strong
like
hands."
buying all the screen stuff, right? It's like, who wants to sit there and wash a screen 8 hours a day, and you turn around and you look behind you and there's 300 more screens? What did you accomplish?
Just picturing you dropping it off, and a single tear comes down. Thank you. Well, anyway, guys, thank you so much for doing this with us
Absolutely.
today.
Yeah, thank you, guys.
Start of the show. We just got here. We'll see you around. Hopefully, you can come out to our happy hour tonight if you guys aren't doing anything.
Absolutely. What time?
What was it 5 to 8? It's with American Apparel, Live Nation. There's bands, free stuff, food, hot dog bar.
Yeah, so if you're listening to this, too
we
bad
love
it's
hot dogs.
over. It already happened.
It's already gone. It already
You
happened.
missed out on the hot dog
Yeah.
bar.
Thank you, guys.
Hey, thank you guys.
Appreciate it.
We appreciate it.
Thanks for hopping in.
Thank you.
We just recorded an episode, and then we got this handsome devil in here. Tell us.
I'm Andy Rudman from Shirt Kong out of St. Louis.
We're going to introduce ourselves. Dylan from Upstate Merch.
Sam Lapcivic from Branded Threads in 84 PA.
We all bleed blue.
sir.
We want to talk about it. So, Sam, tell us how you got into M&R.
I bought a used press originally, and actually, I have a funny story. So I had a bad experience at first with some customer service people. I saw Maggie on your Instagram because you were one of the first shops I ever followed.
Makes
and,
sense.
Yeah, reached out. Her bio said like customer service extraordinaire or something like that. Reached out to her that way and told her that I was like a bitter ex right now, and I hate M&R, and changed my mind because I wanted to work with M&R, but I had a bad experience. So then I went and did a factory tour, met Dennis, and it's been history since then. Then I got an auto, and now I have everything in my shop is M&R now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And a lot of that is due to getting the right person.
100%. Yeah.
Nobody bats 100 all the time.
You know
so-
what I like is that, you had a bad experience and they tried to fix it.
Yes.
And I've always said to fix it times 1,000, right? Go above and beyond, like send cookies. Dylan makes fun of that.
Right.
But what I think M&R should do is when they recognize, and like what they did, is they recognized you had an experience that wasn't quite right and they tried to fix it. And one thing they need to add in is to add steaks. Not cookies, because cookies you might have a gluten allergy or
Yeah,
something like
see, I
that.
brought it up to him that if you send everybody cookies, what if they're like have a gluten allergy?
Well,
That just
then
pisses them off even more.
Who has a steak allergy?
That's true, actually. Good
Maybe.
point.
Vegetarians and vegans.
No, we don't want them.
Yeah, we don't want that. But,
Yeah.
I like how they tried to make it right. And that's what we do.
Absolutely.
Also at Shirt Kong, they're still figuring it out. But is that what you do too at
Yeah,
your shop?
make it right. Yeah, I took after you.
Who makes it wrong?
Other companies?
There's just like spoilage count is like the craziest thing in the world to me. Like if I said I'm printing 100 shirts, you're getting 100 shirts.
Well, you're the
not
only
getting
one.
97.
So like if you go to Papa John's,
Yeah,
and you're like, hey,
yeah,
I
pizza.
need to pick up 8 pizzas.
Right.
I have some friends coming over. I need 8 pizzas. And you
Yeah, but
show
the
up.
driver gets a slice.
Hold on. You show up and they're like, hey, sorry, we're making your pizzas. We dropped 2, and you only have 6.
Yeah.
You're like, well, I need 8.
100%. That's Domino's has like the pizza insurance now. That they do, yeah. That if they like mess up, they like double it and give you more now. Yeah.
So they should do that at M&R. You order a Gauntlet 4.
Yeah, you should get 2.
I like it.
100%.
You hear that?
I think we should
You
start that
order
today.
one press, you get 2.
Yes. Us 3 only.
That's a great deal.
Sounds
I like
good.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, you ended up getting brought back into the fold.
Yeah, so I did the factory tour, and then I came back out for like a Shirt Lab event or something like that, and I did another factory tour. Got to go to like the VIP dinner. That's when I met Peter and Tom. That's the first time I met them. Got to talk to them and told them my needs of what I was looking for. A little bit unique because I was trying to scale, but I'm in a position that I'll only ever have single face power. So that began the initial conversations. Peter was talking to me about them starting the partnership with the DCC and having the Copperhead Charge dryer, which was able to put out the production speeds of an auto on a single phase and without natural gas too. So talked to him about that. Then I beta tested dryer, and I bought a pre-owned auto at that point, just near me on like Craigslist. Actually, it was listed on Craigslist. The guy had never put it together. I had Wally come in. He put it all together. It was running smooth. Got the dryer in, and then from there, like a year later, upgraded to the Copperhead Rival because my Diamondback was an 8.6, and now I have a 12.10, so needed to upgrade.
What do you think about the dryer and the Copperhead?
The dryer's great. So at first there was like a couple, like I said, beta tested, so a couple of temperature issues. It just wasn't hitting the temperature I needed for the belt speed. So they came in, changed out the motor, and since then it's been amazing.
The dryer's pretty sweet though too, because it has forced air, right?
Yes, it's forced air, and the footprint's like 13 feet, so
it's kind of like a Fusion, right?
Yeah, but
same
like
size-ish?
on steroids. Yeah, size-wise, yes, but way better of a dryer than a Fusion is. Yeah, and the price point's really good on it too. And you asked about the press too?
Yeah.
Like about it? Yeah, it's very, very, very quiet. Like it does not do like the sound that like the regular presses do. Super quiet. It has squeegee stabilization, so you're always getting the same exact pressure on every print. You know, it doesn't matter how you set the choppers, it's gonna stabilize, which is really nice. Especially like bringing in new staff and stuff. It's really hard to make an error on that press, truthfully. And the new one is, I was just telling Andy about it. Have you checked it out?
Well, I haven't checked it out yet because we walked in like literally right to come to this, but I was talking to some of the techs about it, and they were like, you should really go check that out, because they were talking about too on the displays now. They have all the education.
Yeah,
they have all the stuff.
It's
like,
amazing,
I don't remember how to run this thing on the press. You can hit a button, watch a tutorial, do it.
Yeah, literally,
that's
it teaches
sweet.
you how to run the press. It teaches you how to do all the maintenance. It auto oils itself. Like you don't even have to do the maintenance. Like, and you can even like push a button to make it oil.
And you were saying it talks to you, like if you're in your
It's
revolver
like
mode.
Kit.
Yeah. So if you do revolver mode, it'll tell you like, essentially like come over and unload the shirt. Like, you know how you have to like listen for the beep on the other presses or whatnot.
Is it a man's voice or a woman's?
You can change it.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, you can do male or female.
Can
You
we
do
get
like
your
Samuel
voice on
Jackson?
there?
I would like to. Yeah.
Come sit on the couch.
You can do like a darker light mode. It does. There's a lot of
I
options.
knew Matt would come over and
Yeah,
say
look at this
hi.
handsome guy.
What's up, brother?
Hi, guys.
Hi.
Get in
Can I
the
get
mic,
one?
brother. Oh, I'm on.
Are you working or trying to work?
I'm actually,
Kind of.
showing one of our newer people over at my new boss, actually, at Inktobo.
Hi.
Giving her the.
So we shouldn't say weird. Oh, so you know all the weird crew things. Yeah. All right, cool.
Yep. Taking her around, showing her all the fun stuff.
Your beard looks gorgeous.
Yeah, you
you
look
got
really
some.
Good. A little bit of oil.
Oh yeah.
I'm just here showing my new boss all the stuff.
What beard
Is that
oil
better?
do you use?
Do I
wanna know.
sound good? All right, I'm
We
going to
gotta
let you
edit
guys get
this
back
part.
to the real conversation with this wonderful human.
Oh, that's
Thank you, sir.
I'll see you guys tonight.
ScreenprintGBT.com.
ScreenprintGBT.com.
DTF. flow?
Dot stream.
Stream.
Matt's into everything.
Just everything. I'll shill it.
Bye, bud. We'll see you later.
Okay. But
All right.
yeah, so the press like literally can teach your staff how to print with videos. It's amazing.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I
And
have to really check that out.
It has the configuration here is a 1210 or a 1412, but it's going to go up to an 18 color.
So what's your next M&R purchase?
That press. I would like that press.
The bigger
What
one?
is it?
Yeah, I would love
Oh.
that press. Yeah, that thing's amazing.
Would you get it instead of your current one or an add-on? Do you have the space for
Yeah,
it?
that's the thing. I would need the space, for it. Yeah, I still have the Diamondback, so I would need to sell the Diamondback, and at that point, then I could fit both. Yeah, but I think at that point, I would either have to get another dryer or a bigger dryer.
I like
Couldn't
the
handle both
idea
presses.
of you selling the Diamondback just because it registers different. Or like you put the screens
Yes.
in different. So instead of the up, down, and side to side or whatever,
You're right.
the new one, it would be similar to what you have now.
Correct. Yeah. My Diamondback side clamps. So
And
yeah,
it
it's very
tri-locks?
different. Yeah, it tri-locks. So that's the thing too. And my thought would be is I would like to get rid of the Diamondback for that exact reason. I don't want to train staff on two
One way and
completely
then
different
change.
presses.
Yeah.
Although they're M&R, they're wildly different.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think that was another thing too when they first got introduced here, is a lot of people were saying that too. It's like, well, I already have a Sportsman and a Gauntlet or a whatever. and this is a totally different setup, like different squeegees, different whatever. But like you're saying, you're starting with that.
Yeah.
Now it's seamless. You can just continue the whole shop in that,
Cool thing,
that presto.
yeah, I know how to do both because I was on the Diamondback, but like the new staff that's come in, they don't even know how to run the Diamondback. They're just straight up on the rival.
That's awesome.
And I'm teaching them that way. Yeah, so, but when it comes time for me to add a second press, it'll definitely be the Copperhead series for sure.
So you're interested in staying in that series?
Yeah, I like it. Yeah. And I just getting to know those guys and doing beta testing with them and like even getting parts and stuff like that, changing out some stuff. Because like the red pepper flashes, the first single phase ones were in my shop too. So we had some stuff that we had to work on with those, but now they're running smoothly.
Awesome.
Everything went smooth.
So the flashes are also single phase?
Yes, yeah.
The thing with those flashes, I don't know if they're any different now, but it's you can shut off a lot more zones on those than you can on the
like the
other ones, the traditional ones.
Yeah, like the Chili D's. Yeah, you can shut.
Is it
off.
almost every bulb basically?
I think there's 6. Yeah, six zones.
6 zones.
Yeah.
Instead of 3 zones.
And they're ran differently horizontally opposed to vertically. The bulbs.
Nice. Awesome.
They're shorter. I don't know if that makes quite a difference, but I guess in the shut-off zones that would make a difference. Because instead of like left chest, you can do like just top.
I think
middle,
maybe because
bottom.
also is it longer than wider? Your flash area.
It depends on which configuration.
Are you
but yeah,
16 by 18 or 2020?
16 by 18.
I think that's why they flip them. I want to say.
Yeah. Right.
So we do have notes on the bottom here. We want to ask best install and worst install.
Best install and worst install. Okay. Well, my first auto bringing it in was rough because it was it had mice in the head and
we talked about that actually because I had that
mice like a mouse, like an animal.
I didn't see a physical mouse, but there were like mouse remnants, which
like
is even worse.
Yeah, this has nothing to do with M&R, but
No,
in general,
not at all.
I have the brand new 6.8 Sportsman, and basically a mouse got into the electrical panel at the bottom where everything is basically, and in the coil of wires made a home. And where it made it home, it decided to chew all of the tiniest little thinnest wires. And you turn the press on, and all these errors came up, and it was.
Mine was the little
amazing.
air hoses they chewed on. But yeah, so the pre-owned press that I bought was in a garage. A guy had it in a garage, and it sat there for like 2 years, which again is like a testament to M&R. It just literally sat there, completely untouched, and then Wally
turned it on and went.
Yeah, it just literally went. I mean, of course, like we had to change like air hoses and little stuff like that, but yeah, it worked great. And then the best install, my boy Giovanni, the M&R tech, he came up and it was really, really smooth. I helped him out.
Well, there's also a big difference from going to a brand new machine from a used
an old one. Exactly.
mouse chewed machine.
Yeah, it's always a hard time. I'm like in a rural setting. I'm on 12.5 acres, so like I can't even get a tractor trailer up there. So we park at the end of the street and then forklift everything up. So that's fun too. And then like have to unhinge the doors in the garages just to get them in and stuff. But I'd want it no other way.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Well, is there anything else you want to see at the show or anything you're excited about?
I knew that the global team was premiering something, so that's what I was excited to see just because I'm in that world. So that's what I've spent the most time on.
Yeah.
Got a demo on it, and I'm sure I'll talk to him more about it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, but I'm open to seeing everything, of course.
Yeah. A lot of good stuff here today.
Yeah.
All right. No.
Thanks, bro.
Absolutely.
I don't know. Well, Andy was
there
doing
was
this.
There was a lot of little
shifting the gears.
I like that shit. That was nice.
So we were talking a minute ago. You just got here.
Yeah, so we do a lot of the markets. For example, Atlanta market, Dallas market. The show we're doing right now, well, we start January, the gift market show. We have a 10 by 30 booth that we sell a pre-printed line, which is great. Then we have a leather part of our business that does a lot of leather works, all custom made, branded, nothing with our brand. I just want you to pay me the money, right?
Yeah.
But so we do that the first week, come back the week, and then we're there for the Western Market Show. And what that is, ever since Yellowstone came out 8 years ago, the Western Market is nuts. And we go there selling the leather goods and the pre-printed lines that are dedicated to the farm and life, home and outdoor.
Right, because that exploded.
Absolutely, yeah. So I think that's, I've been doing this 30 plus years, and you got to be careful, some of the stuff you'll jump into, it'll be a good trend. A good ride. I remember being at Magic when streetwear was in a small building and it blew up. you know. But that's what I just got back. Flew in last night. It was freezing out there. I come here to the beautiful weather.
Yeah.
You know.
So you say gift market. What are those stores who are buying those pre-printed shirts? What kind of stores are those?
You know what's interesting is you're going to get the mom and pop boutiques, right? You're going to get the buyers. Like yesterday, we wrote a nice PO that's coming up with Tractor Supply. Okay,
That's a good one.
Yeah, it's a good one to have. And you'll get the big and the smalls, and then medium size. You'll get some. For example, the Western Show. You'll get these farm and home co-ops, right? And there's a lot of those. Don't discount them, right? That they'll buy 13 designs, right? And a lot of those are pre-printed designs with their logo. They don't care. You know, they're just looking for product. They're looking for product that they can get.
Yeah.
So like if you go into a gas station sometime somewhere and their shirts are
Like
on a rack?
like a Buc-ee's.
Well, I've never seen the gas station come in there yet, right? Usually they're going to Chinatown or somewhere to get those 99-cent shirts.
Okay.
You know?
Gotta get Buc-ee's.
Yeah, got it. Buc-ee's is there.
Yeah.
So they'll come there. And Buc-ee's, let me say this, I'm very humble when I say this, they pay well.
Yeah.
Right? That's another thing. You can have a big box come and put that carrot in front of you. And I've learned over the time, listen, I don't care how big you are, I want you to pay your bills.
You're saying when they pay well, you mean like on time?
Yeah.
Yeah, because it could be
Absolutely.
90 days sometimes.
Yeah,
when
if we're gonna play the 90-day game, you get a higher price.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
just the way it is. And if you're not, you go.
I want to talk about that. How does that work?
Well, you know, so I heard you guys a few podcasts. Which one of you guys from Nashville or worked in Nashville? Or was that one of your
I was in Atlanta for a little while.
Atlanta? So I've been south of Nashville forever, right? Been in the music, right? And same deal with the music business. I don't care who you are. If you don't pay me, if you hold my money out, listen, I probably won't do business with your management company ever again. And sometimes the artist doesn't know that, right? So at the end of the day, cash is king.
Yeah.
Right? I don't care if you're dealing with Bass Pro. I don't care if you're dealing with BMG Music or any of these big guys. You got to get paid.
I just love that idea, and I never really thought about it, and I don't know why. And it's clicking so good now that if someone wants to do terms, they get charged more.
Absolutely. Don't. I'm trying not to cuss on this thing.
No, cuss
Is
it
okay?
up. Yes.
All right. Don't ever discount the work that you do. You hear me?
Yeah.
It gives me chills bumps, right? I cannot tell you, because listen to me. I'm that guy that started with a manual press. I took $20,000 in credit card debt. I'm a high school dropout. The odds are against me, right? I dropped out in 10th grade, right? It's against me, right? So I have to work twice as hard. So there's a lot of passion built up when two things, paying your bills, right? Always pay your bills, always. At the same time, when you bust your ass to get those shirts done, you got to get paid, right? You got to get paid. And I take it personally. I mean, I've said this a million times, man. I've worked 30-something years. This is my baby. I got two beautiful kids. I got a third kid, and that's his business. But, you know, I think I've seen it happen, and I won't name names, but you guys know in the last 10 years have been certain companies that want to get you for your contract. They want to dictate your pricing. Man, dang it. I'm trying to be good.
He's like, dang it.
And I don't want to say their name, but no. Right?
I feel like you break some legs, you know, if you're like a little bit late like a day. So like, you know, hey.
You're a big guy. I'm a big guy.
Yeah.
And they'll do it over emails, or we'll get going back.
Just
and
a
forth.
quick kick to the back of the shin is all it takes.
Yeah,
You
but
can drop anybody.
I think what happens is people get in this industry, and I made those mistakes. Well, hey, let's just give it away so we can get the business. Quit doing that. Your time is the most valuable. You know.
But I love the fact that they're making you wait, so you're charging for that. Like, hey, if you're going to give me 30 days, 60 days, 90 days,
Well,
like here's the rate.
It's sort of the opposite of almost like discounting an early payment.
Right.
In a sense, although you said don't discount, but you could say, hey, if you're going to.
Well, it's like the idea of saying, like, if you give me cash, you get a cash discount.
Yeah. Yeah.
But now it's like you're going to make me wait. Well, there's a fee for that.
Well, we have a good customer last year. They did about $300,000 with us, and they hit my sales girl up December, saying, "Hey, they're wanting now to have a 2% discount on 60 days." I'm like, seriously? Seriously? They've been paying us in 15 days. How did it go to 60? I know what happened is they're having their little group meeting how they can save money, right?
Yeah.
I say, okay, here's how this goes. You're going to add another 20% to the invoice if they do that. To the quote, not the invoice.
Right.
To the quote. Guess what? She gets an email back that says, "Is this our pricing?" Yeah. Right? Because if I'm going to have to hold your money, plus you're wanting a 2% discount, see?
Because you said earlier is what we do too. You pay your vendor already.
Absolutely.
So you've already paid
Right, we're
S&S.
not banks.
No,
Yeah.
we're not banks.
Your money's out. You've
Yeah.
had payroll.
Yeah.
You've had all your stuff.
Absolutely.
But you didn't get yours.
Let me say this. You have to pay your bills. And I'm going to tell you why. Long time ago, I did printing for a company that was called Gadzooks. And they strung us out. We went out of business, right, because of it. It was my lesson. This was my college going to school,
Right.
right?
So you're kicking the nuts.
Yeah. So I made sure Staten got paid. I made sure all these vendors got paid. When I got out of the business, came back in it a few years later, listen to me. They remember that this guy, they didn't get stiffed.
Right.
Right. And I remember Sanmar, when I got first started, Sanmar had a great selection. They had that PC 61 cheap shirt, UPS would come. I would write a hot check, bust our ass print, right? Call the customer, get over here and pay me.
Right.
So we have this banner that's like 25, 28 years old. It says out the door in Ford. Because of that struggle, it caused good things, right? Always find the good when bad happens, right? Now we're getting to, instead of being 2 and 3 weeks out, we're busting our butts to get it so we get paid, But yeah, I tell you, even to this day, I've never lost that passion to make sure we get paid. If you don't pay us, we have a really internal system. It pops up. You can be sneaky 5 years later, come back to my business. We got you. We know who you are. You're a prepaid customer, So anyway,
We came in hot with the payments. Like,
sorry about that.
No,
man.
this is great. I love
it's
this.
passion, man.
Yeah,
Well, I mean,
perfect.
we're in business to make profit,
You have to.
and
Don't
you
be
know,
afraid of it.
Yeah, and if you're not getting paid, that's a huge problem.
Yeah.
And
It comes back to this also. Do the show, make the dough. I've always said that, right? Work your butts off. Be consistent, right? Honestly, I don't care about competition. I don't even listen. I have very few friends on Facebook that are competitors. I don't want to see their stuff. We're doing our own stuff.
Yeah.
This is the first time I've even come to do something. I'm doing this as a favor, right? I don't want our. Now I'm 36. I'm 56 years old. I've been doing this 30-something years. It's okay. We can talk about stuff, right? I can tell you. I've been listening to your podcast the last few weeks. Listen to things. That's interesting. That's
Yeah.
interesting. Some things in the past I would never say.
Yeah.
Now I want to help younger guys out.
Yeah.
So you guys, because listen, I'm not always going to be doing this.
Yeah.
I
Well,
like that.
we came in kind of hot. Can you introduce yourself a little bit? What
Oh,
the
yeah.
shop was, and I do want to hear like a little bit of like you said you've been doing this 30 years. Like,
Yeah. So I'm Jeff Nebo. I started in designs. 30 years. And it's crazy. I'm a graphic artist. So the only two things I excelled out in high school and school was art and public speaking. Right. The only thing I ever had an A in. Everything else were 50s. Right. I have the best 50 score average you'll meet. And
I feel like you can go far with a public speaking background
Yeah. I mean, you know what?
because talking to people is what gets you places.
You have to talk to people. Here's the deal. It's a balance, though. You have to have the right brain. And I've been listening to you for the last few weeks, right? Right? Yeah, he's the silent, deadly type.
Yeah.
Right? But listen to me. You have to have both sides of the brain, in my opinion. You got to have the creative. You also have to have to be able to talk to customers, right? And you have to be a chameleon. You'll be talking to a guy that's only going to order 24 shirts.
Right.
That could turn into a big account,
I've had that.
Yeah, very, very important, But when I started this, as a I'm trying to hustle in Nashville and ended up doing some work for a company there, and next thing you know, it just blew up. And then got into the music industry, and they needed a way. This is when kids were still in Napster MP3s.
Yeah.
That's when the merch business took over in Nashville, and it went from being a $10 T-shirt. If you went to a Prince concert, they were $10. Then the next year they're $20, right? Because they had to figure a way to offset people still in music.
Yeah.
And even some of my younger employees, they don't even know what a DVD or CD-ROM is really. And I bring them, I show them, I said, this is how the music business was. Now it's merch. Look at the stuff for Zach Bryan that I've seen at the concert that I was laughing, going, man, they're selling $50 hats. Right?
Oh, yeah,
And I feel a little guilty for it because we do a lot still in music. And I'm like, as long as I'm getting paid, I'm good.
there's a long line too.
Long line.
Go to like Garth Brooks or something, and you see like it's like a $60 T-shirt, black ink on a white G5000.
Oh, Lordy. Yeah, I mean, and it's nuts because a lot of the music merch, I can tell you a funny story. Recently, we cleared out, we have about 60,000 square feet, and I have a warehouse that we're cleaning out, and I find some old music stuff that we've done. We just do a lot in the hip-hop industry, right? Eminem, MF Doom, sort of mix a lot, So one of the girls at work goes, hey, we need to sell these. I was honestly, I would just print on them, right? And
Right. Use them as test prints.
test prints, right?
Yeah.
And she goes, no, we're going to sell them on the What's Not platform. Have y'all heard of that? What's
No.
Not? Oh, you got to learn it. It's an auction site, right?
Like an eBay.
Yeah, but it's live. It's 24/7, right?
Okay.
They're killing eBay on this live platform. We're selling these shirts, right, for $45 and $55.
Vintage.
Vintage, right? Now I will say we had some returns come back because of the dry rot.
Yeah, but that's in.
I know. I didn't know that, but we
I
did.
posted something a little while ago on the Shirt Show page where it was these people who go find like basement finds or whatever. And it's literally like
Yeah.
a T-shirt that's just ripped to shreds.
Yeah.
And they're like, I would sell this probably for like $600, and it's like,
If I know what I know now, all that stuff we printed back then, I would have probably kept a lot of that. It's amazing. My daughter says, Daddy, those old print shirts that we've already sold, got rid of, they're like $1,200, $1,500.
Yeah.
But it's funny, the old brands, the best tees, the ones that are just the worst T-shirts,
Like Screen Stars best.
Screen Stars, yeah.
We'd buy those wholesale. Believe it or not, we'd buy those wholesale for 65 cents. I remember, which I thought,
But now they're sought after.
Oh yeah, they're sought after. But in the 30 years, I've seen a lot. Like I said, I started with a manual, a workhorse, and what's crazy, I still have it. It's in the back of our shop. It's next to my OJ Bronco that's restored, and every 5 years I'll pull it out.
Actually, OJ's Bronco.
Not his Bronco, just like it though. But I'll pull the workhorse out, and I make all my printers, all my automatic printers use it. They'll never understand what it's like. See this? That's what. Listen, when you do it over and over, you have injuries, you have sore muscles, your back is hurting.
That's not just from you giving the bird too many
It's not
times.
a bird. Yeah. That's like and things at your back and your lats build. And your calf muscles. You're standing on your feet and you're not working. Now, listen, we work 7 days a week, 13 hours a day, right? You have to in the beginning. You gotta, in my opinion, if you want to move, you gotta work.
Yeah.
The 40 hours a week starting out. I don't know how these new shops do it. It's going to take you longer to get there.
Yeah, for sure.
But anyway.
Yeah, but when you went and did your 13 hours, 7 days a week, it didn't feel. Sure, it was. At the end of the day, you're tired, you're exhausted, whatever, physically, mentally too. But you loved it. It was your passion, and it wasn't quite the work that your jobs before that. Like you wanted to do that.
I've always said this, and I heard some of it's funny, you guys mentioned about drinking a beer after who said that story about drinking a beer after a Friday?
Oh, yeah.
Probably this guy.
So listen to me, there's times that, man, we would do a big run of like 500 shirts on the manuals, right? I'm not kidding you, we would celebrate too, right? Like we were like, man, that's a feat. Like, that's why I give my printers that do automatic, say, you guys will never understand the struggle. But it is cool. Inside our front offices, we have black and white, fathead, old pictures. Because I always point out, I said, look, that's our old electric oven that we used to pray to baby Jesus going, please don't wash out, right?
You're right.
Don't have a return because it didn't, But the struggle, here's the deal. If you love what you do, don't worry about it'll come, right? I've always said this. If you love what you do and you're consistent, right? If you're passionate about it, listen, you're gonna make mistakes. Absolutely. Learn from it. Try, it's funny, when I hire new employees, number 2 on the list, number 2 says, if you ever make a mistake, you call me and let me know. Because I've made everyone. And I'm a problem solver. So I may not be the brightest crayon in the box, right? But I'm a great
Well, it's the most
solver.
successful people are usually the ones who've made like 1,000 more mistakes.
Yeah.
So
and you learn from it.
We've
You don't
made
repeat.
them.
Failure is the way forward.
Absolutely. And hey, when the shit hits the fan, just take a deep breath. It's a T-shirt. Now, I've had to learn this over the years. I lost a right-hand employee. Man, this guy you'll have these employees that are like gold. But he had a aneurysm at work, and we lost him 6 years ago. And I'll never forget that, man. And it was tough.
At work?
At work, yeah. And here I am holding him on the ground. He can't talk. He's writing on a piece of paper. And we're actually, I do a lot of things like that day we were doing chicken wings for all the employees, right? Because I guess I won't be getting any wings. I mean, and he was a key person in our in business that after we lost Dan, I'm going to have to cry here. After we lost Dan, I had to take a step back. You know what? It's just a fucking T-shirt.
Yeah.
Don't fucking sweat the small stuff.
We say that a lot at the shop when things get like there's like weird drama that just shows up out of nowhere, and it's like, guys, they're just T-shirts.
Yeah, if I
like,
could give you
it's
some
okay.
advice, if I give you advice, it's just a T-shirt. Do not let it destroy your family, your friends, because we build great friendships. I've got guys been there 20 years, almost a long time, right?
Yeah.
Don't let it destroy that, and
that's really difficult. I think that that's good advice, but when you are, when it's your reputation, and it's your investment physically, mentally, financially, the whole thing, it's to your core, so important. And then somebody's there and they don't feel the same way, and so you come in hot sometimes because something happens, like you just said, it's a mistake. You come in hot and you're like, I've actually come in hot and that person quit.
Yep.
It's like, well, I got to come in mild, you know, and so it's like all this stuff matters, and maybe I shouldn't even come in. Maybe it should be someone else on the team, maybe a production manager, something like that. Or remember, it's just a T-shirt. Take a deep breath, sleep on it, come back the next day, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And so,
On that topic, last night I was having a discussion with Ricky about how in my shop I am not. I've just come to terms with I'm not the confrontational person. I am very weak at it. I'm not good at hiring, firing. And we were talking about how basically we have our managers that we pay well to do that for us. What is your take on that? Are you that guy, or are you like someone else is doing that for you?
Delegation's the key to success.
Yeah, yeah.
I've got right now 36 employees. When peak hits, we'll add another 5 or 10, right? At the end of the day, let me say this: hire with grace, fire with grace. I'll say that again: hire with grace, fire with grace. The passion when you hire somebody is the same passion when you let them go. As mad as you are about somebody, that's important. And that took me a long time to learn that, right? When I fire someone or terminate them, it's equivalent to adding another ring on the tree. No one will ever understand it. It's tough, right? Because you're affecting their livelihood.
Yeah.
You know, you're affected to have kids, but at the same day, there's a reason. And I always say this: you deserve a better place to work. I'm just not good enough for you, and I think you deserve better.
Godspeed.
Have fun. But I tell you what,
It's me, not you.
Yeah. But every Monday morning, I have a famous Monday morning meeting. Everybody's included, right? And I want everyone to give me feedback. And I've been on the other side where I had all this feedback, no one wanted to listen. But that Monday morning meeting, this is how I do it. I'm the coach, you're the player. You walk in that door, I'm assuming you've never worked a day in your life. I'm going to teach you how to work. I'm going to teach you how to be on time, right? Like my clock is always ahead, so I'm not late, right? I'm going to teach you my little, I call them Jeff-isms, right?
Is that a rollie that's not accurate?
That's
You're
real.
saying that's not
It's ahead, yeah.
It's accurate to what he wants it to be.
Yeah.
Time's
but it's
irrelevant.
ahead.
Yeah.
Because I learned a long time
Time's a
ago.
construct made up by man.
Yeah, I was late, right? And my uncle, I worked in a foundry when I was 16, and I'll never forget, I was late, and man, he tore my ass. I learned, and he told me why don't be late. So it's those small things. But here's the deal, when they come to work for you, they don't know how to work. You have to teach them how to work. They're going to make mistakes, and you reinforce training. You know, I heard you guys talking about training. One thing I like doing is setting them in a room, having them watch a video, ask them questions, right? Repeat, you know. Here's the thing I'm going to start this year, no kidding. I'm a little older than you guys. We used to have this toy, and you put these shapes in there. Squares, circles. It's critical thinking skill sets, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you what. I'm going to pull that out on the
I hope
desk.
to God you're about to say you're going to make them do that.
Yep, time, go. I want to see how they react to, the pressure. I want to see how they react to doing the test itself. Right?
Yeah.
I'm curious. It's a psychological. I'm going to see if it helps us find better people to be more critical thinkers. Right? I could care less what college
You should get it and set it on the table and have a stopwatch and sit there and be like, go. And then they do it and they're like, what was this for? And you're like, I don't know. I was just fucking with you. I just wanted to see. Like, I want to.
Basically shred the resume.
Yeah. I'm the same way.
You know, and then have a conversation. And then, like you said, see what they can do with that. That's kind of cool, too. But before we go on to the next topic, I want to shout out Kyle Caldwell, the production manager at ShirtCon. And he says if you're on time, you're late.
Yeah.
Like if you, because we start
Absolutely.
at 7:30. If you're here at 7:30, you're late.
So what do I say to people who are consistently 15, 20, 45 minutes late?
You say goodbye.
Yeah.
Or you give them a warning, obviously.
Yeah. Hey, I have a guy who runs my UPS. Been with me 7 years. Last in December, he was late. And I was like, dude, listen to me. Here's what I'm going to do. I have a solution to you being late all the time. And I mean a lot, 2 or 3 times, right? I said, you have a choice. Start coming at 10 o'clock. You're going to take a 2-hour pay cut, or go buy an alarm clock. You know, he's 28 years old. I said, I don't know if you kids know what alarm clocks are.
Besides your phone, you mean?
Buy 2 of them. Yeah. I said, get you some alarm clock. Let me tell you what, he's not been late yet. Right? And it's, again, remember, a lot of people we hire, they sometimes come from single families, never had a father. I get that a lot, right? I get a lot. I'm lucky to. I'm also able to hire people that are coming off parole, right?
Coming off what?
Parole.
Okay.
So I have a friend that's on the board, a Tennessee board of parole, and I always ask to find me that shining star that deserves a second chance.
Like someone will be a hard worker and is trying to make it work.
Everyone deserves a second chance. Don't ever forget that. And I'll have them come in, and let me tell you what, I probably have 8 or 9 that work for me right now. The longest probably going on 12 years. And they're great employees. But you have to, but again, remember, when you walk through that door, you're the coach. Someone has to be the coach. Someone has to be the enforcement. You know.
I really like the idea of basically training them on all aspects, not just the business part, but like them being on time and like how everything works and operates.
Well, I tell everybody, try to learn other things in the business. I notice that stuff. But it's funny, when I hire people, I tell them, you'll never find I can clean that damn toilet better than anybody. Like the other day, I found shit stains on one of the toilets. I'm in there on my knees. I told my guys, y'all come in here, watch this, right? And I'm like on my damn knees cleaning shit stains, right? I'm passionate about it, because let me tell you what if you're a customer, you walk in there and you see shit stains on the toilet? What do you do? So I have another friend, you guys might know PETA from New York. You know?
Yeah.
All right. I remember 10 years ago, he and I, first time we met, we conflicted. He's a buddy of mine now, right? I said, you got the dirty-ass shop I've ever seen, right? You go to my place, you can clean off of it. Well, PETA finally, we went back and forth. I said, let me tell you why I can have a clean shop. When I sell that Challenger,
we all have clean shops here.
Yeah,
So it's
when I sell that Challenger, I get the value. I get the money for it, right? And I don't like stuff being dirty, because let me tell you what, if you go to, let's say you go to In-N-Out here to eat, and they got fries everywhere, and you see a cockroach running, what are you going to do? You may not ever eat there again. You may get your first negative Google review because you got, you know. So, but it's about training your employees, teaching them, and like you said a minute ago, they don't have skin in the game. It's not their money.
Yeah.
But the day that you get them to drink it like it's theirs, you got to pay them well.
I'm gonna butcher this, but I think it was like, I can't remember the guy's name, but anyway, it was like the broken window thing where basically like you walk into your apartment or your place of work and you see a broken window, you're like, you drop something on the floor, you break something else, you're like, well, it's probably okay because they don't care because they never fixed the window. And then the next person walks in and sees the broken window and the thing you broke on the floor. They're like, well, it's okay if I leave a stain on this because there's this and this and this. And then it just compounds into everything's dirty. But if you go in with the fact of like the broken window, we're going to fix it today.
Yeah.
Then the next thing, I got ink on the press, I'm going to wipe it right now.
You have to.
And then that never is the issue.
I agree 1,000%. And it's sort of like one of my first jobs I had was telemarketing. We were outbound telemarketing.
Yeah.
And I was selling like travel packages. It was a very hard job actually over the phone to try and sell travel packages. But we had to wear a suit and tie. The customer couldn't see us.
No.
We could have been naked. We could have had this T-shirt on. Didn't matter. But we had to dress for success, I guess, if you know, if you will. And the same sort of thing goes for your shop. Take pride in your workspace.
Yeah.
You know, if you come in and it's all fucked up, you're just going to let it get more fucked up.
Yeah.
Just like you said.
Right, yeah.
And so that you have to take pride. This is your press that you're running right now. Yeah,
Absolutely.
that's the shop owns it, or but you're running that press. You're the captain of that ship right now.
Yeah.
Make sure it's clean.
Hey, you know what? I have a guy, I'm going to give him a shout out, BMO. He's a guy that he went to prison when he was 17. He doesn't mind me sharing this story because there's a great story here. Drug charges, 17. He gets out at 38. Right?
Damn, that's a long time.
Long time.
For drugs.
Drugs.
Yeah.
Family died. I mean, he's lost everything. Doug Corn, who gave me, he said, hey, I got this guy. Give him a chance. Let me tell you what, we laugh about it because the first 6 months was rough. He never had anybody give him that discipline, the love, unconditional love, right? He's one of my best employees. Let me tell you, the other day in our meeting, let me tell you, he treats that press like he's got an Impala with 22-inch wheels on it, right?
Yeah.
It is perfect, you know? Perfect.
Is it overheated? We're good.
I did want to ask you, I was checking out the site and everything, and you also mentioned the leather. How did you get involved with the leather stuff?
This is a great story. So basically 8 years ago, what I normally do at the end of the year, I archery hunt, I bow hunt. I find my tree and find my solitude. It's not. It's where I finally get my relief, right?
Yeah, I get that fully.
Well, the first few days we duck hunt, and I'm up in the middle of nowhere, Nebraska, Kansas border. I'm freezing my butt off inside this guy's little farmhouse. All my buddies are there. I see a FedEx truck pulls up, and he's walking in with this Richardson box. I'm like, whatever. The guy got hats from somebody, and this guy is tearing the box open, and they have leather patch hats like this. Right? And I look at that invoice, $40 a hat? Are you effing kidding me? Right? Mm-hmm. I'm like, the guy goes, can you make these? I was like, sure. I'll get back with you. But I took a picture of that invoice Saturday morning, right? Sent it to Dan, who passed away. He goes, WTF. Right?
Right.
So I'm spending the next day in a tree stand doing this. Where, how, who, what, when, and where.
Yeah.
What do I need? True story. Next day, I tell my guys, I got to go. I got a problem. I'll tell you about it later, right? I get my hunting gear, ship it back UPS. I go to Kansas and buy clothes for 3 days. I go to Vegas, got an SGIA show going on, right? I've always said that some days I'm the statue, some days I'm the pigeon, right? I'm the pigeon right now. I'm not getting pooped on it. I'm not happy. Everything's lining up. I found the company that does the laser. I could figure out how to burn leather. I catch a flight to Arlington and DFW, south of DFW in Dallas, to buy my first sewing machine. I learned in 6 hours how to sew leather. So the two hardest things to sew is leather and silk. Very tough. I get this back to the shop, and I'm sitting there, and I wasted 90 112s, right? Just messed them up. Trying to figure it out.
Stitch the leather to the hat?
To the
patch to the hat?
Yep.
Like a post bed, is that what you bought?
Yeah, post bed. Trying to figure it out. Finally figure it out. Not quitting. Okay. Here's why. I do a lot in the hunting industry. We have a big archery trade ATA show coming up that we have a 10 by 20 booth at. I got to have this stuff there, right? I finally figured it out. You know, men were horrible about not reading the instructions. My machine was set to like 15,000 RPMs. Once I brought it down to like, it worked. It's funny, my first hat, it looks like I'm drunk, right? And when we do the stitches now, look how beautiful that is.
It's because you were hauling ass the first couple times?
We didn't know. That's what happens when you don't read the instructions, right? But I get ready to do this show up in Indianapolis, so we give a lot of swag out, right? So I was giving out beanies with a little logo, right? And I made sure all my vendors around me, all these big ones, I gave them 6 beanies with their brand on it. It blew up. Lucky for me, that week in Indianapolis, they had an ice storm. Everybody wanted the beanies. And that projected. So now it's 33% of my revenue.
Crazy.
33%.
Is patches on hats?
No, everything. This, right?
Just leather work in general.
Leather work. It's all with their, the wallets, the purses, right? Tons of stuff. Guitar straps.
That are all logoed?
With their stuff, not mine. I don't care about my logo. I want your logo on there.
Right.
It's funny that Richardson,
I love how you have your own show pass that's leather.
Yeah, you like it?
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah. And, and then you keep the business cards back there.
It's literally perfect.
But the thing is like Richardson caps. When we started this, is right before COVID, I took a gamble. Now, this is where, oh shit moment, right? I saw what was happening. I needed inventory. I took a gamble with Richardson, and I literally bought $100,000 worth of hats because I knew they would run out of stock. What Richardson did, the little guys didn't get hats. We got hats through COVID, right? Hardly ever did we not lose inventory.
Like you used to put it in your, you're waiting notification. So like, hey, give me a notification when it comes back in stock. You put it in your cart to try and buy it. It's already gone.
Yeah, it's gone. So what's funny, I had the Richardson rep come by our office a few weeks ago. I think in the 112s last year, we're up to 136,000 pieces of the 112s, right? And that's not all the other ones, right? So the hat market continues to grow. Let's talk about this. When you have competition, how do you deal with it? Well, everybody and their dog is heat pressing them. I promise you, if I could heat press these damn patches on hats, I would have done it. But we have a special tree out in our shop, outside the shop. It's called the hat tree. I buy hats from my competitors and put them out there. Now, I don't dog my competitors, but I want to show you what happens when you glue them on. It doesn't last.
Right.
In my opinion, the worst thing in this business is having returns. When you print it, when you make it, you should never come back to your shop.
Yeah.
You
don't want that guy to have that hat and then work in it and sweat in it and then the patch falls off.
Yeah. But it went from hats, just like the show we're doing right now in Dallas, right? 10 by 30 booth. Think about this. 20% or 80% of that booth is leather products. The guitar straps, the gift market show is amazing. Everything made out of leather, made in Tennessee. We're not outsourcing to China.
Yeah.
So, for us, we kind of leverage, having those sewers. And also, I'm fortunate. Our city, where we're at, we have a lot of people that used to work in the dress plants. Now I'm hiring these 60 and 70-year-old people. I do not care. As long as you can sew and you show up 40 hours a week, I'll give you a job.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's something great about being in a market that you can draw from with a talent pool of people.
Absolutely.
Like with Dylan. That's a struggle. Finding people to.
I live in the middle of nowhere, so it's really hard for me to pull people.
I do too. Let me tell you something. I do too. I struggle with that, but I use Indeed, and I struggle. I'm trying to hire a CPA right now, right? Not CPA, but another accountant, right?
You mean in-house?
In-house,
Okay.
right? If I get another person lying on their damn resume, I'm not kidding you, dude. I had one come in the Thursday before I left last week, and listen to me. There's nothing in my business. Like I told you, I'm the best toilet cleaner, right? I asked her, I said, what version of Enterprise are you using? She goes, She did the 3 times. I'm like, come on, right? It's easy. You're either doing 23 or 24, right? What year? Not 1977, right? But we struggle. We struggle too. I think we only have 50,000 in our seat, but I also do a good job of bringing people from other cities, right?
You'll relocate, you mean?
I will, because let me tell you, our cost of living's cheap. We have real stars. You don't have that yellow glow from the city.
Yeah.
Right?
How far from Nashville are you?
So I'm an hour south.
Okay.
So we used to be in Franklin. You can't do manufacturing in Franklin.
Why? Cost
too expensive, yeah. It's just not worth
real estate, you mean, or what?
Yeah, too expensive. So what I did was I came an hour south. The city that we're in, we've had fiber before anybody else did. So we have high-speed connection. And part of our marketing's been this. We do a lot of local, but I go after, if you're paying, like here in Long Beach, $20 a minimum wage, I go after your market here. Because I can still produce the shirt cheaper and better and still make a good profit.
Right. Yeah, I like it.
Have you thought about relocating anyone ever?
No.
You know?
Like getting somebody else or moving your business?
No, I'm sorry. Getting someone else.
Bringing someone in.
Yeah.
I have, and again, I really wanted to ask you about the leather and the whatever and the patches, because I've been in the industry for like 17 years, and I've had Upstate for 15 years, and I've never had embroidery. And this year, I think we're going to start getting into embroidery. But one of our biggest struggles right now is we're getting more and more customers who want patches sewn on hats. And I'm finding out more and more that if I'm outsourcing embroidery, everyone's saying no to sewing on patches. So we want to bring it in-house, and I've been researching a post-bed machine so I can sit there and sew patches on. And then also I want to get into embroidery and whatever and learn how to do it on the embroidery machines. So I do want to pick your brain, like after the episode, I would love to talk to you at some point about
because
all
we
that
do
stuff.
embroidery. I think we have 24 heads of embroidery. Honest to God, guys, I shut those 8 girls that run embroidery. They do such a good job. It's the slowest. Be honest with you, embroidery is like watching paint dry.
Yeah.
Like, I like the action, but back on the patches and stuff, post-bed machines, they're affordable, right? We have, I think, 12 of them. Then we have other machines. You can do it yourself. If you do it yourself, you control your destiny.
Yeah.
Right? But it's a good profit business.
Yeah.
Well,
the reason why I brought that up is because I've been saying on the show how I wanted to get into embroidery, and I'm getting people from across the country that are like, oh, I would love to move there and run your embroidery department. But I've never had to hire somebody from out of state and be like, here's your moving expenses, let's get you here. There just seems like a lot of pressure for a department I need to learn myself first.
You do, but I'm going to say this. Me, I'm a little different. I don't try to hire from the industry, right? And I'm going to tell you, I don't want to name his name. I'm sure he's here. But I hired this guy that he works this show for a big company. Came in, and I'll never forget this day. This is about 20-something years ago. We had an order for 900 polo shirts, right, to get screen printed, right? 900. He messed up on 120 of them, and I'll never forget the day. He goes, oh, that's just spoilage? I about lost my shit, man. And also, he's the same guy
120 isn't spoilage.
He's the same guy that was hitting my screens with a damn hammer.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck are you doing? That was strike one. Strike two was the spoilage comment. And I'll never forget happened to terminate him. He's sitting down in his little sob, smoking his damn fucking... Sorry.
Nope, keep going.
I'm
You're good.
passionate about this.
I like
He's
it.
a damn pipe, right? He's at this show. I know it. I see him every time, right? And I think about... But remember, pain makes change. It taught me, be careful hiring from the industry. Now, you might get lucky, but here's the deal. If I can train you, you've never done it, you're always going to do it my way. Sorry about that.
No, I love... You've had 2 stories already of the accountant person not knowing the year of the software, and now you're talking about this guy coming in and just
fucking it all up. Yeah.
One of my favorite stories we had Ryan Kasparian talking on about before, how he hired, was a production manager or someone in the ink room, and the first thing they did was they scooped ink out of the 5 with their hand.
Oh gosh.
He's like, he fired them instantly. Was like,
that's why you get fingernail checks.
You
where? Let me see.
Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand.
Listen to me. There's good people in this industry. They're looking to work for you. Someone got fired yesterday that deserves to work at your place. Me, I ain't got time for that.
Yeah.
Like, I'm trying to hire people that are, and that's the downside. It takes training. But let me tell you, training is you stick them in a room, have them watch those videos, right?
Put circles in the circle hole.
Yeah. And you know what? Call me in an hour, and I'll ask you a question.
Isn't that sad that that's what we have to do to hire people now, is ask them to put circles in circle holes and triangles in triangle holes and make sure they're capable?
Listen, I've heard it all. And listen, I tell my people, I don't care what you do before work, at lunch, you can go smoke the biggest joint, you can go do whatever you want. You show up on time, you don't do anything. Let me tell you, I can smell. I've had to fire good employees because they're smoking pot at lunchtime. I'm thinking, it says don't smoke. hot at lunch or before work.
So they'll just do edibles then next time.
I've had that. That's why. That's the story. Is I've had it where we said no more smoking, and then the next day they come in and they just do edibles instead. I'm like, it wasn't the fucking smoke that was the problem, you idiot. Like,
well, let me tell you. And now, cigarette smoke's different, right? I do not like that at all. Okay, so I tell them, don't let me catch you smoking. And I got a few. They sneak in.
It'll set in on your shirts.
Yeah.
too.
Let me tell you what. I lost out of New York City. Man, it hurts me to talk about this. We lost an account that was a $400,000 a year account, right? And we did all hip hop stuff, right? And I'll never forget, we messed up on 4 cases of shirts that smelled like smoke. I said, I'll reprint them, right? We reprinted them, 4 cases. I even asked for the other shirts to come back, right?
Yeah.
I never heard from them again. And I talk about that all the time. You know, the few people out of the 35 or so that smoke, if you're going to smoke, you're going to go, I got 5 acres, right? You walk downwind, you lick this finger and tell me where the wind is and get the fuck out and smoke down there. You know, they're not going to walk 400 yards for whatever to smoke, right? But it's not worth losing the business, right? Because I smell it, man. I mean, I can smell you if you smell, and then the customer's going to smell it.
I have my building is an old train station, and the whole building's on like 4-foot stilts. But the problem is I have that 4-foot gap under the entire building. Well, in the spring, skunks for some reason like to go under there and live under there. So that once in a while, at least once a year, they go under and they spray.
Yeah, that's not good.
Yeah, because like a fox or something comes in and scares them, whatever.
You put little landmines
but
up.
that's the thing is we've had it before where it was so bad
Yeah.
that a customer got an order and they kind of like, whisper on the phone. They're like, were you guys like ripping bongs in the shop? Because like my shirts smell like weed or whatever. And we were like, didn't want to say it was skunk. We were like, yeah, we're sorry, like whatever. Like we played it off like we were stoners, but really it was fucking skunk spray.
Well, you know, here's the deal. At the end of the day, you want the product to be perfect. You got to have a customer do 2 things. They're either going to bitch about it or they're going to never use you again.
Yeah.
Right? You know, they're never going to. And I tell my employees, I said, listen to me. It's got to be right. That's why we do really good QC, right? And listen, it's funny. I was listening to some of your podcast, and I want to talk about this. You know, you always have that customer who says, hey, I'm short. Right?
Yeah.
I get PTSD on that, right? Let me
Yeah.
tell you how this. I've got amazing security systems, cameras, right?
We've talked about that. I want to put one at the end of the dryer.
Got to do it. And here's what I do. I take it to a level. I'm sometimes petty, is what they call me sometimes, right? I put Sesame Street numbers 1, 2, 3, right? I also put on the YouTube video your name, right? Here are all the shirts. I upload the YouTube video, right? YouTube video, and I put the 1, 2, 3, 4. I count it all the way down. All the shirts are there. That video stays up, right? Customer sees it. Oh, I'm sorry. Magically, the shirt appeared, right?
Right.
We have such strict QC. I'm going to tell you what, I'm betting on my employees because they did their job right.
Yeah.
Right? But yeah, you got to try the Sesame Street numbers, and then I'll finally
That
take
is
it
probably
down.
the most petty thing I've ever heard
It's
with
petty
that.
because your name's on YouTube, your video's after you, right? I do their name because I want them to wake up and watch this video because I took my time.
Right.
'Cause remember, time's the most important asset.
Yeah.
And I am not going to print a 6-color shirt for 2 pieces.
Yeah.
Don't do it. It's not profitable.
Yeah, I had asked, we were shorted some DTF a while ago or whatever, and we'd asked the company, hey, we were shorted this many or whatever, and they literally just sent us a video of the roll being printed, and they were like, oh, yeah, well, we were right in that case. They showed like they cut it too early or whatever, and it was missing. Yeah. But I thought it was amazing that they had that proof and they had that evidence. So I was like, same thing. I was like, we need to get a camera on the fold table at the end of the dryer, where we can see. Oh, yep, no, here's all the shirts.
We use a software called Blue Iris. You don't have to pay a subscription or any of that crap, right? You do have a standalone PC or server to run it. It's great. We have 37, 38 cameras, but it protects you, right? It protects you. Just like where we store all of our Richardson caps, I've got cameras everywhere. It's like Fort Knox, right? I've got RFID technology also, so if you take a box out, you take a sleeve out of the zone, I get to my phone, comes to me, no one else, right? But back to the security cameras, it's the most important thing because someone's going to, don't take this wrong. I've always tried to approach my business, how is someone going to try to rip me off?
Yeah.
Right? Remember time cards? People cheat you, right? So we went from time cards to, remember fingerprints? Well, figured out how to cheat that using super glue and 2 pieces of tape, all right? That doesn't work. So now we do iris check-ins with eyeball. It works. You can't rip that off. So back to your business, it's those little tips. How do you improve it so people don't steal from you, or people don't try to cheat you? Because they're going to. You have to assume the worst, not being negative, but you have to set that. And I'm a verbal person. I tell them, listen, don't steal from me. I'll give you the shirt off my back. I can't tell you the 30 years I've had.
I agree with that,
I can tell you how many people I've gone and pulled out of jail because they got in trouble. You know. So anyway, not just get on that tangent. But,
No, I get it.
But
Yeah,
the software is called Blue Iris. If you ever need it, it's a great camera system.
Well, anyway, we're here on the second day in the M&R booth.
Yep.
You're here. What is there anything that you're looking at in the growth for?
Yeah, you know, this is the show you want to come to, right? I'm going to tell you this. I remember it was the Impression Show forever. I think 2020 they changed the name, but anyway, I remember coming here in first time 96, 97, and just walking in like a new cow in a cell barn. You know, like what in the world, right?
I heard that one.
Right? Yeah, we've all been there. But what I try to tell people, I just had a discussion with these two ladies out, their sisters out front, starting their first business, right? I tell them the first thing you're going to do is split up, get away from each other, right? And you're going to walk and you're going to look and learn, right? That's the first thing. But when I come, I'm looking for the Easter egg, right? And a good example is Saudi. 7 years ago when Saudi came out with the laser unit, remember that?
Yeah.
To do the screens. I saw it sitting there, I go, and I'm the guy that's going to ask you questions, you know, why is your zipper down? You know, one of those questions, right? I'm that guy. I go, wait, why do you not have that plugged in? What is that? They said, man, it's this new technology. You know, I'm like, okay, what kind of new technology? Why do you don't have it in? They could not figure out the window driver to shake hands with the rip. Well, Eric, that works. I said, man, let me and my guys work on this stuff, right? 2 weeks later, we helped them figure it out. Met them at SGIA, brought the software, bought a beautiful simulated piece of process of work that would probably crash it. It worked. That one unit's one of the 5 top items. I will say this, it's changing our direction. Now we have the dual Saudi that does 2 screens.
Yeah, I have the same one.
Yeah, and honestly, I would buy 2 more if I could, right? But you come to this show looking for something different, something that's going to be game-changing. And, you know, Rich, he's retired now. Rich is an old friend of mine. Man, I got a lot of history with Rich. You know, I remember our old Precisions that we had that when they acquired and issues on parts and stuff. But Rich, you know, it's funny. We did the print-off in South Carolina. And listen, Rich is a big dude too.
Yeah.
Right? I remember Rich and I had a drag out, almost a fight, right? No kid, this is crazy. We're buddies, right? But
yeah, I love Rich.
Over the damn shirt detector, right? I argued. I said, dude, you charged me $1,200 for a piece of bitmap software crap that, you know, that doesn't. We don't even have it turned on. You know, I said, we shouldn't be included on that. See, they used to have it. You had to pay for it, right?
Yeah.
I don't want it. And I'll never forget this is where you can't allow your emotions to get over you. I remember telling Rich, during the show, right? Fuck you, man. And I walked over and bought the damn Rhino, which was a mistake. Now, do you guys know the Rhino and the whole Robert Barnes? It's a whole history of screen print. It's a guy that broke off, you know, started a Rhino, great press, horrible press. It was a boat anchor, right? I remember having to swallow pride and call Rich and listen, got to shake hands, get over
I should have bought that $1,200 shirt detector.
Yes, I should have. But those are the things, you come to the show, make good decisions, right? And think how it's going to improve your business, right?
Yeah.
Listen, try not to buy the fluff. It happens. I've seen stuff every year, you know, but coming to the show, you know, we did the Blue Water. I spent a long time trying to figure out who we're going to go with. Went with Blue Water.
Hell yeah.
One
Good
of the
choice.
best investments that we've done time-wise. You went from having 3 or 4 employees clean screens to 1 now, you know?
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, you want to do some over-unders?
Oh, yeah, we got a couple.
Let this man go experience the show and find something new.
Overrated, underrated, or properly rated. The first one is a tiki bar.
Oh, damn. Is there one here right now?
We were there last night.
Oh, did you? Yeah, let's do it. Underrated. And let's add some desserts to that.
Perfect.
Yeah, definitely.
I think underrated. One of our good friends, Jared, has a tiki bar. What do you got?
Did you get one of these?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Oh, what is
I
that?
was going to show this off, so I got a...
There's a Sportsman on the back?
Is it? Yeah, that's what it is.
I think it's the press that's over there.
It's a gauntlet.
The original gauntlet.
Okay.
Yeah.
We got $1 here for a drink.
There you go.
The Barger Bucks.
Take that to your
Brian
local
gave
Long
us some
Beach movie bar.
dollars to get some drinks later.
Maybe
All right.
it'll work at the tiki bar. I don't know.
Yeah.
They almost didn't let you in the tiki bar last night.
Can you believe that?
What, you're underage?
They're like,
I mean,
that
you
guy's
look pretty young.
Did
they card you?
They're like, that guy's too drunk.
Do you really?
Yeah, they really
last
did.
night.
But they were carrying me, but they weren't carrying me because I was too drunk.
You know what's crazy? I don't drink anymore, right? But so my girls are working right now at the Dallas show, and I told them, I don't care if you guys go out and drink, because I've been there. You better not be late to the show. Well, I had a convention I was at, and my employees are there. We're out drinking. I closed the bar at 2:30, and let me tell you what, I'm having a panic attack. I got to get to the show. I went back to the convention, pay to do $100 at work security to let me into the show. I went to sleep under the table, right? I got 4 hours of sleep, whatever it is, and I could hear commotion, and I roll out, man, and I got the two girls going, you haven't changed your clothes yet. I said, I told you I'm not going to be late. Never be late, especially to a show in front of your employees, you know, and especially when you're drinking, you know.
I don't know what's better, if you show up 5 minutes late, showered and well dressed, or if you roll out from under a table and
Just roll out,
you're on
man.
time.
Roll out.
It sounds like you got spite in you, where you're like, you know, I'm going to do this because I said I was going to do it, and that's what it is.
Have to. You know, integrity is a big deal.
Yeah, no, I get it. I understand.
The last thing you
It's
want is
just
a damn
funny.
employee going, well, hell, if you're out drinking, why can't I? If I'm going to be late, if I'm going to,
Right,
you know,
yeah.
do stupid, then, you know, at the end of the day, you're still the leader.
I respect
of the,
that. Yeah, you know,
yeah.
you're going to do what you say you're going to
Yeah,
do.
because if not, you know, they're going to hold it against you, and that's the last thing you want to hear. Well, you did this, you know.
One more. What's the last
I
one?
have one more. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is
This
a
came
pretty-
up at breakfast
This is
this
a good
morning.
one.
Okay.
Pocket pancakes.
Pocket.
So
we
yeah,
were
you
talking
gotta-
about on the go, you need a nice snack. Just roll up a
pull out a
pancake.
pancake.
Pull it in your pocket.
Guys, listen. I'm older than you, right? I'm coffee and get
He's
going.
going to tell us this is bullshit now, and then
Yeah.
later we're going to see pocket pancakes
I'm gonna walk-
business.
I'm going to be doing pocket pancake shirts, right? You're going to start a new fad. You know what? Here's the deal. The older I get, man, God, I'm going to tell you this. You got to have your coffee. I do a banana, right, and a little bit of peanut butter. I make sure you do your number 2, right?
Right.
Be
You got it
done.
before you leave the house.
Got to do it, right? But it's funny, you know. I was talking to Tim Foreman after. Tim was my first guy from 25 years ago to sell me an automatic, an M&R, and we were laughing. You go, you know, man, back in the days, man, I'd stay up till 3 o'clock in the morning. I have to be in bed by 10 o'clock now. I got to get my sleep.
That's how this show is for us. Like every other show, we would go find the next thing to do, hanging out with friends. I was happy to be back at the Airbnb at 10 last night.
Yeah. But again, my it's different from what it was when I was, you know, what are you, 28?
I'm the same age as you, and I was going
Are
to tell
you
you.
really?
I was going to tell
You
you.
need to sell skincare.
It's
right?
all screen chemicals. They're good.
You got emulsion on your
He
face?
just closes his eyes and blasts screen opener in his face.
I was going to. Well, I don't know if I should share this or not.
Don't share it, man. What's the trick?
Oh, not just as far as like energy goes. Have you just a little bit of advice? Maybe you already have, but just have your T levels checked next time you go to your
listen to me, I'm
animal.
big about that. Have you got your colonoscopy and all that stuff? Here we go, talking colons, right? Like no sugar. Sugar's the
No sugar for me.
Sugar's the bad thing.
Yeah.
Bad thing. Listen.
Poison.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you what, man. I was up to 360, and I'm wearing my pants I wore when I was in high school. I'm 36,
Hell yeah.
and I have to wear a belt. They fall down, right?
Right.
But I tell you this: as screen printers, we neglect our health. This is my opinion. I neglect my health. And about when I lost Dan, it woke me up.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, gosh, I finally went and got my colonoscopy done, got all that stuff done. Thank God I didn't. I thought I had cancer, right? Figured out the diet change was important. Killed no more. My employees will tell you I would down 6 monsters a day, right?
6 what?
Monsters.
Drink. Yeah. You know.
He's saying
no
monster,
more-
but it sounds like mustard.
Monster, yeah. Mustard, yeah. 6 balls of mustard.
How many pocket pancakes are you eating today?
No, we call those fleshlights back in Tennessee. But the thing that we do. Sorry, did she hear that? Did you hear
I
that?
hope so.
With bacon.
Keep going.
But the thing is, you know, and I'm being legit here, is as we bust our ass, we neglect our health, right?
Yeah.
We pick up bad habits.
I'm 100% with you. I'm
Yeah.
on that journey right now. So,
Yeah. It's important to try to kill your sugar. You want to live till you're 96. You don't want to die when you're 50. You know, you don't want to have stupid stuff like this happening where you should have gone to the doctor to get it fixed.
I like your excuse. It's pretty good. Yeah, my finger's broken. Yeah.
Just let it go, man. You know. But I think the most important thing is work hard, but find balance. You know,
Yeah.
like right now, my life is balanced. Let me tell you this: I built a house down in Florida on the beach. When I'll be at work next week, I'm going to spend the next 10 days completely off. And my employees know it better be an emergency, but you have to find the balance. I know that longer, you know.
Yeah.
So anyway.
Well, thank you, dude.
Hey, good to meet
Appreciate
you.
you being here. Hell yeah.
If you're in Tennessee, come by.
I will.
And you know.
I want to reach
deal.
out to you after this and talk about
Anything
whatever.
you guys need, I'll help you out with.
Appreciate it.
All
Thank
right,
you,
guys.
dude.
All right.
Hey, thank
See
you very
guys.
much, man.
No problem, man.
Enjoy your show.